All right, boys. Welcome. How's it going? Welcome everyone to the Daily Shag number 5. We're talking about the more Twitter files.
Yeah.
Matt Taibbi dropped a supplemental today on Twitter, and we are here to run through that. And I'm sure some of the other lovely news. And the Weave himself has arrived as well. Carlos Casino, how you doing?
Hey, man bun, how's it going?
I'm doing well.
Good. You want to swing right away? That's just the way I roll in. So
no, that's fair. That's fair.
Remember, we got confirmation on the Weave last night.
That's a lie.
Mm-hmm. No, it's the truth. We got from the man himself.
Yeah, I even have that clipped. So there you go.
Okay. Well, you need to get something else clipped. Apparently, that 2-inch cock on your desk.
Yeah, I was sitting there waiting for everybody when I posted the picture last night of the birthday
I
cake
never
ice
comment.
cream.
I never comment on another man's cock unless it's they actually solicit me for.
Wow,
the
we're not even 10 minutes in.
Well, it was right next to the grenade coffee mug that says "Complaint Department, please take a number." Yeah.
By
I
the way,
want you to know I didn't bring this up.
These are Shag's friends. Hey, Shags. Or I should say, you got your hair up. So what's going on, Shagsy? How you doing? Good.
I'm doing well. I'm been slightly under the weather for the past 24 hours or so.
Oh, wow. Actually, don't do that. Be over the weather.
I'm trying. This is the best I've felt all day, and it's just because I have the 3 most handsome men on YouTube here with me.
I agree.
And a lovely Sherry in chat, so it's all good.
Yeah. Hey, at least we have
you're blind.
At least we have Christmas talks.
That's right.
I
love
that.
Christmas. We got our stuff out.
Don't tell everybody about you don't want to show everybody your stuff. You don't. First of all, don't pull your stuff out and show it to everybody. It's not okay.
Sage advice from Culture. See, it's after dark, and Culture just it doesn't matter 5 minutes in the stream, whatever. He's talking about people's junk. Yeah. He's talking about showing said junk on camera.
No. Hey,
he's a disruptive force.
You're the one with the little rooster on your desk, my buddy.
And it's on a spring, so it kind of moves around.
It bounces.
Bounces.
Comics is here. He almost said things. Get off my lawn!
Get off my lawn!
Jason's here.
What's up?
Hey, how's it going?
Good. Well, now that Culture, do you want to just take over the stream? We'll just make this the Culture 2.0 stream.
No, dude, I really want to know what you heard about the Twitter thing. Did you do a Twitter thing today? This is you're doing a Twitter thing, right?
This is that we're going to go over the supplemental that came out from Matt Taibbi. I'm sure we'll talk about some other stuff that's popped up along the same lines.
I heard about this. There's a guy that apparently he makes things in ovens, like this baker guy. I can't wait for that.
Yeah, that should be interesting.
I don't get the joke, I guess.
I'm sorry. I'm going
to Baker.
I don't know. Oh, yes. Baker, yeah. Okay. Anyway,
it's been one of those days. I get it.
Yeah, it has.
You also have to know Culture for about a year to get some of his references.
Yeah, pretty much.
I'm a little quicker than most.
Oh, well, that's
what she said.
That in my brain was literal scrambled eggs last night. So it's been like I said, it's been an interesting 24 hours for me. But I'm mostly back in the saddle and good to go.
You're back in the saddle again.
Yeah.
I'm going to send you some beard oil, all right? You going to be good with that?
Yeah, absolutely, man. Yeah.
I'll beard oil and a candle so you can have one of your hottest shows ever. Yeah. Ooh, yeah. What happened to Shags? His face went up in flames.
Oh, my God. Can you imagine?
He tried Culture's beard oil, and then he tried one of Toxic Man Flu's candles. It did not work out well.
The Comics Division beeswax candle. It'll light your ass on fire.
Oh yeah, from the Quelf himself.
That's right. I'm gonna have fun with that one.
Oh, it's gonna be.
I'm sure you are.
Yeah.
Anyway, just remember, gentlemen, this is Shag's show, not Yelling at Park Cars.
Oh, Comics has a little Santa hat too. That's so.
He does.
Nice.
I saw that picture.
Aww,
change.
Yeah.
That is a petite. It's a petite Santa hat. It's like it's made for elves.
God.
Or actually even smaller. What are those things called that are pixies? It's sprites. It makes him feel bigger because that's a sprite hat.
I thought it just looked funny with the small hat.
It does look funny with a small hat. Yeah. Don't listen to Culture. No one else does.
I typically don't.
Yeah. That's your Christmas version of a Jimmy hat. Well, there you go.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
On to Twitter.
No, sorry.
Anyways, I did want to say hello to everyone in chat as well. Derpnator's here. How you doing, sir? Always a pleasure. The lovely Sherry is here. How you doing? Good to see you. Tim, good to see you, my friend. Saying hello to everyone here. Where else are we? King Deplorables, what's going on? Good to see you, bro. Appreciate you coming by. And Culture Casino. Who's that guy?
Oh no, he sounds like a real asshole.
I've heard stories about that one.
Hello, my friends. Hello.
I've got a new sound effect for Culture.
Oh fuck.
We're just every time we need Culture to stop talking tonight, we're going to use this one.
Shut up, bitch.
Let me see the penis.
Here we
Oh
go.
my god. Is that Nick?
No, it was Ryan.
That's
No,
Ryan
that's
Cannell,
Ryan.
Oh.
who loves.
He actually said that on a live stream. This is one of the best moments ever.
I believe it. Oh man. Mr. Grant Gregory, political talk with Shags and Gang coming to you every week. Yeah, this is fun. As long as
Is this
something
political? Is that what we consider this? Because I mean,
Everything is political these days.
Everything's political. Talks man flu. Everything, even flossing your teeth, is political.
That's right.
Apparently,
Math is political.
No, well,
math is
no,
racist.
It's
Math is
racist.
racist.
Right.
Which makes it political.
math.
Well, and also
Oh,
being nice and polite is racist. And I mean, the list of things that are racist now means that
How
if you're
dare you.
good in any way, you're racist.
I did one of you guys just share that tweet that said that Shark Week needs more diversity?
Oh, dude.
I saw
Oh my
that.
god, are you
Good
serious?
night.
We did that. We did that bit on the Tuesday tirade because freaking Tom brought that to my show, and I'm like, what?
I swear to God that's happened before, like a year or two ago.
What?
I mean, I could be wrong, but
It's I don't know. I
just
just
need
had
more
enough.
black tip sharks. I don't know.
Yeah, it's like, what does that even mean? Like, I don't even know what it means.
There's a thing. There was a thing. Somebody wrote a thing, and it was like,
It means people. It means some people have too much time on their hands.
Yeah, that's basically what it means.
Clearly.
Well, no, I mean, this lady was complaining that there wasn't anybody that looked like her when she was growing up that was a part of Shark Week, and I'm like, what?
Whose fault is that?
I wonder.
Her name's Lisa.
All she's got to do, she doesn't have to look any further than the University of Virginia.
What's at the
For-
University of Virginia?
The black woman who apparently attacked the Black Studies Center or whatnot, and the University of Virginia didn't reveal who was the suspect because she's black. Did you guys see
somebody
that?
No, I
almost
didn't.
immediately releases that.
It sounds like something goes very quickly.
Well, if you
down
want
to Ted Cruz's house for apparent knife wounds to a 14.
no, it's self-inflicted cutting,
Yeah.
and Ted Cruz is actually in Washington, so yeah.
Crazy times.
And everybody's like, well, it's his daughter. She's 14. And I'm like, you don't know shit. Shut the fuck up. Jesus Christ.
God, Daddy's been drinking. Daddy's been drinking again, Shagsy.
Look. Yeah. Hey, yeah, Shagsy. How you
I'm
doing?
not going to call you Shagsy. I'm sorry.
No, he's got a man bun right now. He is Shagsy until that thing comes down. Shagsy.
It's also his show.
Yeah, he could boot you at any time for that. Just saying.
Anytime.
He won't. He loves me, and I love him very much.
He's a fine, awesome individual.
If it happens, none of us will blame you, Shags. Just letting you know.
Heard. All right.
Permission to boot culture. Oh. Look, if you want to find the article, it's actually on the WAPO, just for fun. WAPO is the one that originated this bullshit article, by the way.
Wapu?
WAPO.
Well, we're here to discuss this because
WAPO.
we are all very interested in what Matt Taibbi has to say regarding all this stuff. It's funny. I did a reaction to a Monk debate with Matt Taibbi, Douglas Murray, Michelle Goldberg, and Malcolm Gladwell.
Yeah.
And like, what was funny is that Twitter came up at one point, like towards the end, and it was really funny because, like, of course, Gladwell said there like, this thing again, oh, Trump this or that, and it was funny because since everything has come out, like that was obviously recorded before all this dropped, but I have a feeling that he must have had like maybe access to some of this stuff already. So you could kind of see him, you could kind of see Taibbi sitting there like, I know more than you, but I can't say anything right now. But even still, it was kind of a nice like FU, you know, some weeks later that it came out, and now they both look foolish with this whole thing. And I mean, before we get into this, I have to ask, like, so I hear from a lot of people, not even like political commentators, talk about Twitter as if it's this sinking ship. And they
want it to be a sinking ship. That's the thing. You know, ever since they've been posting like the end of Twitter, you know, Twitter shutting down because Elon fired all those people, and oh, look at that, 2 weeks later, nothing happened.
Right. And like, but even still, like, it sounds, I don't know. It sounds, the way I think of it is that Musk understands like how to run a business, and sometimes you have to run it in the red a little bit in order to kind of find the equilibrium in order to get back into the green. And that's kind of what he did. Was he went in there, slashed a bunch of jobs, realizing this is all fat. Like there's so many people doing nothing and getting paid to do really nothing. But now we have to consolidate jobs, departments, and all that stuff, and then we'll be back on the up and up. And like, I don't know, that's what seems like it's going on to me, but I see so many people commenting that like, oh, this, you know, Twitter's is gone. Like they're not going to be around. And like,
I think it's more wishful thinking than anything else.
Yeah.
Could be.
Well, I look at the numbers. Twitter engagement since he's taken over has gone way up.
Yeah.
And most, like Apple said, oh, we're pulling out our advertising. They came back.
Right.
CBS, we're leaving Twitter.
All of them are going to come back at some point.
Yeah, they all do.
Quote, it's like, you know, it's the we're moving to Canada, you know, argument. Right. It never happens. They scream, they kick their feet up, they pitch a fit, and then
here's the thing. In advertising, you have contracts. When a client comes in and says we're gonna advertise for so many months or so many weeks or whatever in this thing. In television, it works this way. What's the matter with my mic? Is my mic?
You sound like you're coming through the wrong one.
Am I coming the wrong one again? All right.
Sounds like
just a second.
Jason's down the well, folks. We've got to get a bunch of people together, get Jason out of the well.
Lassie? Jason's in the well?
Lassie, what? What's that? Jason's monitors are all 3 years old. He needs to buy new ones?
No. Dude, he's got like 1,000 monitors.
Hey,
Look,
there we are.
There we go. All right.
Yeah, he's got 1,000 monitors. Look at that room. It's like
I have another one.
I know. I saw it. I was like jealous.
Jesus, that's a nice monitor collection you have there.
Yeah, thanks. Now the problem is I've got to rearrange all of these, and I bought a stand, a table stand for 2 of these monitors.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have anything on the back for attaching to the bracket that I got, so I got to figure it out.
Yeah.
I don't want to drill a hole into it, and it's like, well, suddenly I don't have a monitor anymore.
Right.
But in advertising, you have when a client comes in and says, "We want to advertise, we want to buy ads in this TV show or this newspaper or whatever," you get better rates with a longer contract. And with social media advertising, it's probably the same way, Google ads and whatnot. And you have all of these companies that are saying, well, we're not going to advertise there anymore.
Mm-hmm.
If they do that, there's contractual obligations there that cost them. So my suspicion is that a lot of these companies sat there and said, we're going to pause our ads, and then we quietly start them back up. They didn't make a big deal about coming back. Other people pointed out that they were back.
Right.
But you have a financial hit if you break your contract before it's up. So I suspect, and Mrs. Boss and I were talking about this the other day, I don't think any of them just completely pulled out and canceled. I think they all kind of sat there and said, all right, we're going to pause our campaigns.
Yep.
And then let's see what happens. And then when Twitter didn't implode like everybody said it was going to do,
right,
they said, oh, user engagement is up. There's more people that we can get in front of with our ads. And now we're just back to normal, like nothing ever happened.
And the cool thing is, Jason, to add to that, I think Elon was very like subtle in how he handled it as well.
Yeah.
Because Apple's like, well, we're going to come back, with our minimum ad buy. And I'm like going, that's your ad buy plan anyway. Your minimum is what you committed to buy, right? You can buy more, but you committed to a minimum buy no matter what. And that's what all these companies did. And I think Elon's just like, whatever you want to call it, bro, you're coming back. So, and in fact, he got him back full time. And nobody's going to be foolish enough to not advertise on Twitter now. It's got the most activity it's ever had. All of the things they complain about with, what do you call it, the hate speech in that bologna sausage. Yeah, that's completely gone. What the hell is this?
Mrs. Boss just sent me this. This is from
Went
10
into the
hours ago.
favelas?
This is Brazil.
They went into the favelas.
The army had invaded favelas of Rio de Janeiro and killed top leaders of Commando Vermelho, drug cartel which supports the communist criminal Luis Inacio.
Damn.
Oh wow.
Wow.
Yeah, because he did not have the 100% of the army.
No.
I don't believe he did. No. So
wow. Do you think they'll flip back to the good?
why do you think they're going after our military and getting rid of the people who?
Makes sense.
Yeah.
That's crazy. She just sent that to me. So
Dang.
The
wait till it happens here, guys.
Oh, yay.
Yeah,
It also occurred to me too, like during that whole thing that like half of the advertisers left, but that's their only revenue stream right now. And that was one of the problems that he was trying to fix was, bringing in, like making Twitter, like he had said, we're moving towards making Twitter more in lines of like WeChat and allowing, crypto payments, allowing, regular payments on there. And then also bringing video and allowing people to monetize through video on Twitter. So it sounds like whatever vision he has is like he's in the he's in the first like two steps of the.
It's quite nascent. That's correct. But he's also pushing forward with it. So I mean, we're going to see more blue check marks like me, $8 check marks, in the coming days. And as I build out my organization, I'll get one of those special organization plaques, and all that. But the whole point is just to have everybody be seen and not be suppressed. And I think that's what all these Twitter files are that we're going to talk about tonight.
You know what is actually interesting is that I've noticed that with my timeline has become more of a mixture of things now. I don't think it's of my doing. I haven't really done much, I thought, but I'm definitely seeing more I'm seeing more accounts of like even like leftist accounts that are like, hey, have you like other people that you follow happen to follow this account, and it's something that I would never normally look at. And I wonder if that's also a product of Musk doing, where it's kind of given both sides. Like, I mean, I don't care. Like a lot of stuff I read and it's just garbage anyway. It doesn't make any sense. But it's interesting to see. I've noticed it over the past week, like more stuff starting to filter in.
I'm seeing some stuff like that too, where somebody that I follow liked this tweet, and so it shows up in my feed.
Right.
Yeah.
And, it's kind of almost like a recommendation algorithm. Almost, it's like you follow this person, and they like this person, so you'll see this person and see what you think.
Yep.
Right.
So,
Well, and at the same time, I've seen greater engagement not only on Twitter, but my advertisements on Twitter for my videos has started to pay off, which is like weird.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that
are you buying ads?
No.
Okay.
No, I should. Well, maybe I should. Maybe I should spend money.
But I mean, I'm seeing a lot more people follow me just because of, I guess, comments I make on things or whatnot. So, I mean, it's like my follower count has definitely gone up ever since Elon took over.
Yeah.
Because I want to say I'm almost to.
Mine hasn't.
Let me double check. I don't remember how many followers I have, but it's gone up maybe like 400 or 500. I would say probably in the last couple months.
Mine hasn't.
Maybe you should do something.
I post all the time.
Be edgy.
Yeah, that's what it is. I know what it is. But
okay, I want to say I was around like 10,000 before Elon took over, and now I'm at 13.8. So, I'm almost to 14.
Well, The purge officially begins in Illinois on January 1st.
The purge.
I've got some news for that. So there's 102 counties in Illinois. And for those that don't know, this Safety Act is going to take effect January 1st, which basically will make those people who own AR-15s or AK-47s felons.
Whoa.
In the state. Yeah. So it bans magazine capacity and a lot of people that I work with around here that have ranges and are FFL dealers. The ATF is going after FFL dealers like crazy. So if, let's say, Shagsworth goes in to buy a firearm and forgets to put his apartment number on or spell it AP as opposed to APT, the ATF will shut down the FFL.
Wow.
For breaking, for fraud, and we'll close them down. So that's the executive branch with all of these. We talk about why we shouldn't have the Department of Education and why we shouldn't have the SEC and those kind of things. That's why.
Yeah.
Because you just can't fight that bureaucracy. So anyway, long story short, out of the 102 counties here in Illinois, 62 of them, so more than half, the attorney generals have banded together and have sued the Safety Act, the state for the Safety Act, saying that it's unconstitutional.
Damn.
So they're seeking an injunction to do that. There was a clarification that came down about the trespasser thing. Part of that, I told everybody the police couldn't come and get trespassers off of your lawn. Right. So the governor came out and said, "Oh, no, that's not true." They've been making this stuff up as they go along in committee. It's what's been happening. And they've been finally looking at the backlash and what people are having problems with. So there's hope that they'll shut that down. Of course, any of these bans, AR and AKs and stuff, are unconstitutional. They'll go up to the Supreme Court and they'll get hit, but you've got to spend a couple of $1 million to get there. But so that having county AGs sue means that, like, I support Gun Owners of America. I support a couple of others. I give a lot of money to my local range because they do things here local in the state. We talk about on Comics Division's channel doing something, getting involved, and that's my, I get involved with that. So I give there, but having the county AGs, you got the county money, and they're already on salary to do this. I don't have to buy myself a high-powered lawyer from there. So there's hope from there that'll happen. But I did purchase a lever action that I was able to pick up today, to be able to protect my family stuff if I need to.
Nice.
Yeah. The thing you have to keep in mind too is the availability of the little boxes of Bang Bang, because if you're trying to find a weird caliber, you could end up spending $90 a box.
Unfortunately for me, it's 45 long cold, this one, so I'll just give up particulars of my life. But from there, and that's not a bad caliber to get. With what you have here, but when COVID hit, Mrs. Flew and I looked at each other, and I'm like, "Oh, we're gonna have to stock up on," and she goes, "Screw that, we're gonna have to stock up on ammo." So she went and bought a ton of 9mm and 380 and 45 and all the stuff that, there. She bought a ton of that. So,
damn.
Yeah. And we still have some of it.
All right, let's get into the supplemental Twitter files that Mr. Taibbi dropped today. I was like mad that he did it so early. Well, it was at 2:38. I was like, man, I can't go live right now. People are at work. And then I saw the quarter and go live. I'm like, damn it, fucker.
But he's annoying. You're not.
All right, so on Friday, the first installment of the Twitter files was published here. We expected to publish more over the weekend. See, I wasn't crazy. I knew they were planning on doing more. Many wondered why there was a delay. We can now tell you part of the reason why. On Tuesday, Twitter Deputy General Counsel and former FBI General Counsel Jim Baker was fired. Among the reasons, venting the first batch of Twitter files without knowledge of new management. The process for producing the Twitter files involved delivery to 2 journalists, Barry Weiss and myself, via a lawyer close to new management. However, after the initial batch, things became complicated. Over the weekend, while we both dealt with obstacles to new searches, it was Barry Weiss who discovered that the person in charge of releasing the files was someone named Jim. When she called to ask Jim's last name, the answer came back, Jim Baker. My jaw hit the floor, says Weiss. The first batch of both files reporters received was marked Spectra Baker emails.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
So essentially he was a part of the first management team, and he was overseeing the dissemination of this information. So
he was already filtering it.
Yeah.
Oh, what a son of a bitch.
Yeah. So that's interesting.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. Baker is a controversial figure. He has been something of a zealot of FBI controversies dating back to 2016, from the Steele dossier to the Alpha server mess. He resigned in 2018 after investigation into leaks to the press.
So he worked for the FBI.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I think
some of those investigations were Baker were criminal investigations. I think they're still ongoing, are they not?
That I don't know. We'd have to look it up. The news that Baker was reviewing the Twitter files surprised everyone involved, to say the least. New Twitter chief Elon Musk acted quickly to exit Baker on Tuesday.
Wow.
Yeah. Reporters, I like how they didn't fire him; they exited him. And I know that's there. It's in quotes because that was in his tweet that he's been exited. But I just thought that was a funny way of putting it. Whoop.
Yep.
You can't say fire anymore. It
Right.
makes people upset.
Let's go back to. Is that wow? Is that it? Is that the whole? Reporters resume searches through Twitter files material. A lot of it today. The next installment of the Twitter files will appear, I guess, from Barry Weiss. So stay tuned.
Mm-hmm. Are you following Barry Weiss?
Yeah. Oh, yes. I followed her for a while, actually.
She hasn't posted anything yet.
Nope.
Well, they've got to go back through this stuff now. So here you are thinking you're ready to do this stuff on Friday, and then all of a sudden you find out that you still have a wolf in the hen house.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And so you're going to have to go back through that. What did he delete? How are you going to recover that? And there's a whole audit trail, and Comics Division knows this. There's a whole audit trail of things that you have to do when you're recovering data to prove that that's what it was. So.
This is Politico from January 2019. Ex-FBI General Counsel faced criminal leak probe. Former FBI General Counsel James Baker came under criminal investigation for allegations he leaked unauthorized information to the media, according to congressional transcripts released by House Republicans Tuesday. I don't know how far this went past this.
It didn't. They hit the pause button on it.
Did they?
Yeah.
Well,
that's interesting.
Like Raster says here, I hope they have redundancy built in on the data Baker round. Yeah,
would.
I'm sure they do.
But Baker started at Twitter in June of 2020.
Yeah, they have logs. They have logs that are supposedly undeletable of everything.
They're too big to delete.
Well, no, it's just it's part of the way the system was set up.
Well, that's the big problem here is that you hope that I don't know. I feel like there's ways to delete something if you know the right people, but you would hope that whatever information they had, they were able to, back up. And I don't know. I feel like at this point it'd be foolish to do such a thing, but desperate times, I guess, call for desperate measures with some people.
There are ways of doing it. There's something called zero filling where you basically write zeros to the hard drive over and over again. to try and wipe out data there, but it's not 100% foolproof. But it does a pretty damn good job.
You can hit it with a degausser, which is a giant electromagnet type of thing to scramble things. But I don't know how much you could recover from a drive that's been degaussed.
Well,
not much.
I mean, it'd be like putting it in a microwave.
Yeah, you could do that too. You could hit it with hammers.
Yeah, the way we used to do it is that we would use a drill press.
Yep,
and drill through the platters because
the plates. But that's not. Again, that's not. This thing is redundant. It's supposed to be bulletproof. It was supposed to be built that way. It's one of the things Jack was like really happy about or proud about. So I don't know. What I know is this. If they start diving into people's DMs, like criminal activity DMs, which is something they're supposed to be able to do, and as part of the TOS, your DMs aren't really your DMs. Just like with Google, your email isn't really your email.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the scary things about digital, like anything, like even video games. Like
that's why you host your own mail server, bro.
Well, yeah.
Like Shagsworth has one in his butt right now. He'll just right out.
Comics does though.
Well, I use Proton Mail. I actually tried setting one up a couple of years ago, and it's a pain in the ass. And the other thing too, because if you don't have a good spam filter, like a Bayesian filter, you're going to get a lot of junk mail.
Let's get a hardware spam.
I had one of those at one point, but especially with everything being like cloud based, it's kind of a pain in the ass. But anyway, needless to say, it really is a pain in the ass to run your own mail server. I did it for like a month, and I was like, oh, fuck this.
See, I think it's lovely. Plus, then when you run your own NNTP, then you get free unfiltered news. It's pretty bitchin'.
Yeah.
I'm gonna set that back up. I got enough computers in the garage.
It is wild to me though, like just how digital media works now. Like they even say like you don't own this, and we can basically take it back whenever we want. Especially with like digital games or digital like movies. It's like
that's why we
enjoy it.
It's why myself and Toxic Man Flu and Comics Division and Jason and Tom and we all say get physical media.
Yeah.
Oh, I have. Wait, I'll be right back. You guys keep talking.
I have,
or you can basically set up your own Plex server and
yes,
do it that way.
Quote unquote, pay for your digital copies, and you'll never lose those.
Yeah, but you're still storing it in the cloud somewhere.
No, I'm not. My Plex server is local. I have like 100 terabytes of disk space. So I mean that shit, unless someone's actually breaking into my house and stealing my hard drives, that shit ain't going anywhere.
That's Mad Mardigan. He does that.
Yeah. In sort of adjacent news here, we have Charlie Kirk reporting that the Post Millennial reported, but he tweeted out that it has been revealed that Daddy Fauci's daughter worked at Twitter during the pandemic, because of course she did.
Naturally.
I saw somebody post that he got asked 5 times about this before he admitted that she had worked at Twitter.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, his deposition makes him look really bad.
This man needs to go to jail. He really does.
100%.
I doubt it will happen.
I don't recall 147 times.
The Ronald Reagan defense.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
I have Alzheimer's now. I'm Dr. Fauci and I can't remember things.
Now, for those of you out in the chat, understand that this man's going to get $430,000 a year from the federal government for the rest of his life.
Well, unless he ends up in federal prison.
Well, that's why he's retiring.
We can only hope, but I don't think anything's going to happen.
That's the funny thing about it. Everyone's like, "Oh, he did such a great job, so long, Dr. Fauci." And it's like all the puff pieces are being written about him. It's like, did anyone realize he's retiring because they're going to fucking prosecute him?
Look at this line. Well, a person who used to work as a software engineer for Twitter was my daughter.
This is a man that has worked in government so long. He's learned all the weasel words, right? I mean, he can,
It's criminal.
It's like when he told Rand Paul that they're not doing gain of function, but is describing gain of function.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like Rand Paul's a physician. He knows.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Tox, you just said, you took the words right out of my mouth. You're telling that to Rand Paul, who actually knows what you just said, dumbass.
Right.
Well, it's like the CDC in that lawsuit saying, well, we never told anybody not to take ivermectin. Well,
Except there were literal posts.
Yeah.
It was a suggestion.
But remember, we need amnesty, folks. We need
COVID we need motherfuckers. We need motherfuckers in the Hague is what we need.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of which, this is physical media, kids. Guess what I got today?
Is that Maverick? The movie?
Oh, nice.
Yeah, nice. I got the collector's set. Everything 4K. It's freaking badass.
That's cool.
Very cool.
Here, we'll even put you on the big screen.
Good for you.
Hold that up again. Let's see it again on the big screen. Ooh. Yeah, look at this. It's fancy. I'm so fancy. That was a really good movie. I was very surprised at how good that was.
And I told everybody in the world, I'm like, there was like, it's not going to make that much money. I'm like, you are dumb. This movie's going to make a shitload of money. I'm like,
I wasn't expecting $1 billion. I knew it was going to make a lot of money, but I was not expecting to hit $1 billion.
No.
And I laughed when it beat out Doctor Strange.
Tom was like, was it going to make $1 billion? I said, it might make $1 billion. And he's like, no. And then I was like, no, I'm right. And you know what? Tom Cruise.
I think you were lucky. Not to get too far offside. I think you were lucky for guessing they would make $1 billion. I think it was wishful thinking and like hopes that something really good like that could come out. But like, I mean, look how far removed you are from the original. And the original was great, but like 2 or 3 generations have passed in that time of like even knowing what that would be. Now people are hungry for nostalgia, but most sequels like that, they just fall flat. They don't come.
Plus, you've got the end of the Cold War. You know, the context is gone from what we had the first.
Okay, and while all of those things may be true, the only good film to be made in the last couple of years has been this film. That's the problem, guys. You're discounting the fact that this went old school, hardcore Hollywood, which decided to take a fucking like nap for like the last like 9 years now. So yeah, this is a real film, and again, I mean, that's the kind of thing that that's the kind of thing that changes culture, right? Hollywood can't pretend that Maverick doesn't exist. Nope. They can't. Mm-hmm. They also can't pretend that a nostalgia film with quality writing and great action in Spider-Man No Way Home doesn't exist. Anyway, I'm sorry. I took us away.
I know. I thought we were talking about Twitter.
Yeah. You know what? Fuck you guys. I'm done. I'm leaving.
But it's the same. It's symptomatic of the whole thing. I mean, all of this gets interconnected after a while because it's all part of the culture war. We're all fighting on who's going to end up in charge.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So
well, this whole news of Fauci's daughter working for Twitter, you know, it's like now everything starts making sense. Like I said, things start falling in place a little bit. And you're like, oh, that's why all this stuff was being marked the way it was, or that's why certain stories are squashed the way they are. And you know,
misinformation.
Yeah. And again, it's not about allowing.
Did she also work for YouTube?
Oh man.
just asking Mama Susan. I'm kind of curious.
Right. Well, and that's and you wonder like to what degree has this we know how it's affected people, but a lot of these things people will just get away with it because they think, oh, well, who cares? Fauci's daughter was working for Twitter. It's like, well, it was also when people were getting kicked off the platform. That's why, people were just being, for just having an opinion on it, wanting to talk about it, even experts being kicked off the platform. Like this is a real issue. Because there is no open discussion, Now Twitter's a private company. Before it was not a private company. So like what do we and like, Jason said, this is important because it all of this stuff filters down, through the culture war right now. And it's really
right.
Seeing all this stuff come to light is very, very disturbing. I mean, because I don't think enough like normal people understand to what degree it's happening. Just because once stuff like this comes out and people start saying, hey, Fauci started working for Twitter, and then it's like, oh, well, you're just a conspiracy theorist.
Uh-huh.
Right.
No,
Yeah,
well,
that's a big response to that is you're just thinking it's a conspiracy theory. You're making stuff up. But a lot of now this is all true. And
right.
the whole what the US learned after, in the Cold War was that you just need to suppress the truth for X amount of time for the public to lose interest.
Yeah.
And to go away. So does anyone care that Kanye West went off and whatever he did anymore? No. Nobody does. This
Well,
stuff
it's like I
drops
said,
in the dog.
I felt that was more of a distraction. The Twitter files is far more important than Kanye
Right.
saying anti-Semitic shit.
Yeah.
But this, I go back to I think it was the 1990s, late 90s. There was some guy working at the AP who decided not to release any stories about Paris Hilton. At the time, she had that show on MTV and all that stuff and everything going on. And didn't do it for 2 months. Nobody noticed until he came out and said he did it. And then suddenly, oh, you're suppressing free speech and blah, 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 and all that other stuff. That, when that happened, I knew there's a handful of people that control the information that go to the rest of the masses. I mean, we've seen that throughout history. You can look at any, large religion. There's a small group of people that control the information to the masses. You can look at any major government. There's a small group of people control the information to the masses. So this isn't anything that I'm looking at this going, yep, that's what happened. I knew it was. This is just the proof. And I think it shows Elon's doing something here. I think he knew that this happened beforehand. He still released what they needed to do, but then maybe he knew this wolf was in the hen house, and it shows even to immediately when he was trying to release his stuff, somebody tied to the FBI and to the current government and to all this stuff was trying to sabotage it.
Yeah.
I think maybe that's what he's trying to do.
I think
just real quick, there's a story, and then you please continue, Comics. But there's a story that they were trying to figure out. Elon was trying to figure out who was leaking documents from Tesla, and so he's this smart. He trapped people. He actually released sent out an email, the same email, except with a small difference in every copy of the email he sent to every person that got the email. And when the document was leaked, they were able to identify the person who leaked it because of that subtle difference, like a space here, a period there, a comma there, whatever.
Canary trap.
Yeah,
exactly. And that's how right that Elon is, right? So if I believe Tox is 100% right. He was trapping not only Baker but whoever else was involved in the rest of the wolves in the hen house, right?
Right. Another thing that we need to watch out for, going back to the Kanye thing, is weapons of mass distraction. That's why I feel like the whole Kanye story is a weapon of mass distraction. It distracts people from what is really important. And we kind of saw the same thing from the White House with Jean-Pierre when she was talking about. Somebody asked her a question about Twitter, and what did she do? She deflected and started talking about racism and anti-Semitism on the platform, not actually answering the question.
Right.
Not answering the question about government collusion with Twitter. Oh, no. It's more important that we talk about racism and sexism and identity politics, because that is a weapon of mass distraction.
Yep. And if you have people that are low information, there are people that just don't want this stuff. Oh, I'm not political. Oh, I don't want to hear this. I just want to play this game. I just want to talk to my friends or I want to go out, whatever. And they're going to catch something casual. And why Twitter is so powerful is that group is swayed by 128 characters. You say something clever, that's catchy, And you've got millions of people making catchphrases that people can use, making memes, making hashtag, all that kind of stuff. I can make a shirt out of this stuff. And there's so many ways for people to get distracted off of Twitter or to say, oh, Shagsworth does blah, blah, blah. I can say that 128 characters. Who's going to come back after that initial damage is done and see the retraction? It's like newspaper retractions. They're buried.
No one pays attention to those.
Yeah, nobody cares. And it goes back to what I was saying earlier. They know how long they need to distract the majority of the general public who doesn't care about this stuff. Mm-hmm. How long they need to distract them for this stuff to blow over. I mean, there have been so many things that have come out about Wuhan and about all that kind of stuff that you can find on the CDC website right now, and nobody cares. Well, and that's generalization. You need to sway the public to come in and do this.
Well, that's one of the things that what's up, Brahma? That debate with Malcolm Gladwell and Douglas Murray and Taibbi and Goldberg was, the whole thing was about trust in the mainstream media and whether or not people did. And what was interesting about the whole debate was that I think to start, there was like 48% that did to like 52% that didn't. And then by the end, it had like totally flip-flopped to about 63% not trusting them to like, 37% or whatever the math is. And it was very telling because when you look at someone who like does their work and is thorough and is intellectually honest, like Taibbi and even Douglas Murray. If you guys aren't familiar with Douglas Murray, take some time to read some of his stuff. He's brilliant. And then you look on the other side, like one of the first things that Gladwell did to the two was bring race into it. Like, because Taibbi was talking about like, Cronkite and like the good old days of news and all that, and maybe poorly worded, whatever. But like, of course he, Gladwell, the first thing he says, and this is like 35 minutes into this whole debate, he says, well, it just seems fitting that Matt would, appreciate a time when news was filled with a bunch of white guys and where people like myself and Michelle couldn't have a voice. And it was just like, dude, you're already stooping to this level, but that's the only game they know how to play. Right. And like as soon as that happens, but that's what we're seeing. Like, and that's how they played their whole debate set, was appealing to emotion and not even really bringing like specific examples of what they're trying to talk about. And that's what I feel like is being done here. It's like, we might not even be conspiracy theorists. What we are grandma killers, right? We want to see our neighbors die because we want to be quote unquote irresponsible. We don't care about other people. And it's like, no. Like but it works on people because who wants to see grandma die, right? No one.
Well, it's moral blackmail. That's the whole problem with that, is that if you don't do this thing, you want bad thing to happen. If you're not anti-racist, well, you're for racism,
right?
If you're not for the jab, you're for murdering grandma and your neighbors. It's moral fucking blackmail, and not people need to call that shit out. But the issue is that people don't know how to react to that, and they're kind of taking it back, and they don't know how to react. And people need to go start calling bullshit on that.
It really surprises me though, just how long the Democrats have gotten away with this, because this goes back at least as far as the 80s, that we want to kill grandma. We want to take the Social Security money away.
It works.
We want to.
They were using that this year.
Yes, I know. Yeah. They've been doing all that. We want to take meals away from kids in schools. We want to feed grandma dog food. Make them make a choice. They have to choose between their medicine or eating. I was like, really? This is the playbook, and it never changes. And
lowest common denominator.
It is, and it on the one hand, it surprises me just how long this has been working, and on the other hand, it doesn't surprise me that it's still working.
I'm not surprised. Again, and Talk said it: low information, low IQ voters. I mean, that's the preponderance of people, which is why they are pushing so hard for absentee votes because they can ballot harvest like a motherfucker, you have unengaged people participating in a process that requires advanced fucking citizenship.
Well, it's also the reason why they want to lower the voting age to 16, because they can
dumb
even do
fucking
even more
asses.
ballot harvesting.
Yeah, no critical thinking at all.
Right. So I like to watch people that go to college campuses and talk to women, young women, they're girls.
The dumb chicks. Yeah, dumb chicks.
And say, and they're like, oh, I'm so oppressed and stuff, and things like that. I said, well, okay, well, and then they show how women are treated in certain Middle Eastern countries and what they do to circumcising women in certain areas of Northern Africa and things and stuff like that. And they're like, well, these people, they can't do that. They can't do this, can't do that. And by the end of just telling them, you got it pretty good here.
Yeah.
I was fortunate enough to take my girls through a very depressed country after a hurricane had come through and destroyed it, and just show them that you are very fortunate to be born where you have been born in the United States. And you can either be the kind that complains all the time like me, or you can take advantage of that and go out and grab that education and grab the house, grab the family, do all those things. Do that because you, as this country, women have more opportunity in this country than you do anywhere else in the world.
Yep.
And it doesn't matter what the mainstream media and others say and what they scream at you. Their only tactic is to scream at you until you get tired of them to go away. But it doesn't matter that when you sit down and they listen and they want to engage, and you can talk to them. They understand that, they see it, and you can see it when they do this. The just clicks in their brain. Yeah, I'm pretty lucky.
One thing that I think we're missing with we're missing the boat on with men and women in society, and especially here, and understanding how good people have it here, is like using words like opportunity. Like and I tell this to my students a lot. I was teaching a class this past week, and I was like, I don't owe you anything. I was like, you don't deserve anything. I was like, you deserve a chance at an education. I was like, and you're here in this program because you qualified for it. I was like, but nobody owes you a good grade. No one owes you a job. I said, it's up to you to take the opportunities that are laid out for you. I was like, what the objective here is to get as many people to lay as many tools out in front of you. And those are the opportunities you have. And you're going to start off with a hammer and a screwdriver. And those are the only two tools that you can use. And as you go along, you'll start getting better and people start laying more advanced tools out for you to use to complete your different jobs. If you look at life that way, you'll be very successful. You'll have opportunities to grab things. It won't always mean that you'll make it through. It doesn't mean that you'll always be successful. Understanding that failure is a part of this journey is another integral part. But you're not owed anything. I said, you don't deserve everything. You'll deserve exactly what it is that you put into it. And I think people's approach, like when you approach life in a way of like a collection of opportunities, like, I mean, here in the United States, like, I mean, they're just never ending, especially now. There's never been more of an opportunity to be a millionaire. Like, I mean, all you got to do is go on TikTok and lie to people and you can be a millionaire.
Well, that's true.
Look at Brahma.
Everything
every night.
Everything in this country can be earned. That's the message you're sending there, Shags.
Well, I think the biggest issue is that people don't want to put the work in, right?
Yeah, that's
you
right.
can be a millionaire, but you got to put the fucking work in.
That's one half of it. The other half is people don't choose to learn from their failures. They blame their failures on other people. Like all these Twitter people that just got fired. They blame it on Elon Musk. They're not taking any accountability. They're not going to learn from it, and they're not going to go on to do anything.
So much easier to blame somebody else and take responsibility, though.
Yeah.
So,
there's two sides of that coin. Yeah.
But I had 5 or 6. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Jason.
I was just saying, I've got a 20-year-old, and we've had that conversation. I don't know how many times because he dropped out of high school.
Oh,
and I know it's bugging him. He doesn't talk to me now. We've I guess you could say estranged. I mean, he doesn't want the pressure of dealing with me because this is where we are. But it bugs him that he's a dropout because all he's going to be doing is food service. He's going to be in, short order fast food stuff, because I keep telling him, you get an education, it opens up the number of different opportunities and possibilities that you don't have now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. He knows it's that, he's got to hit rock bottom before he realizes it. And he doesn't learn from his failures because it's all somebody else's fault.
Well, I will say that
maybe the path of education, like high school and all that, isn't for everybody. Granted, maybe you can get a GED. Sure. An advanced education doesn't mean going to college necessarily. This is the thing I try to impart to the young people that I try to talk to. Get a trade job. Trade jobs will make you a millionaire. I shit you not.
You have to work your ass off, but
I had an opportunity here a few weeks ago. Occasionally, I will do freelance work for Skycam, which is the outfit that comes in, and they have the flying camera that goes over the camera. Field. Yeah. So they hire local crew to supplement the network crew that comes in, and they were short a guy, and so I called my kid and I said, here's a job opportunity, $25 an hour. Let's, if you want to do this. And he's like, no, thanks. And some of it is he doesn't want anything to do with me, but here's an opportunity to make decent money for a day.
Yeah.
And you're just gonna pass it up just because whatever.
I had a family member that didn't have an education, went to work as a cameraman for ESPN, retired wealthier than you can possibly imagine.
Well, the food service industry, like I worked in in food service for 15 years. I'm glad to talk to your son someday if you are in contact with him and you want to have me try, because he can have an amazing career. There was a couple people. One of my best cooks and one of my highest paid cooks, like, couldn't read. Like he knew how to identify what he needed to identify, but he was really good at what he did. Yeah. People, like, if what he does is like working in food industry, like there's a way to do it, but like everything else, it does take some sort of work, but you can move from back of the house to the front of the house. And, he could be waiting tables or bartending and, making money. No one cares where you come from. You're a band of misfits in that industry. It's kind of a great thing.
Well, I have a friend of mine for a number of years. He was a server, and his life was a bit of a mess. And eventually he moved to Austin, got his shit together, and he's now managing a restaurant. He's actually making some pretty damn good money doing it.
Yeah.
Right now, and you can make good money as a server. You know what you're doing.
Let me tell you right now. One of my friends works as a server in one of the restaurants at Disney World. He makes six figures and higher six figures. Like he's rocking the box. I mean, dude's making
providing a good meal. One of the Mrs. Flew and I like to go to some of the higher end steakhouses here around in Chicago. Why? Yeah. Because I want a professional chef to cook a very good cut of meat, or of course it's meat because she throws it at me, but a very good steak, and have very good sides, and I want it served to me by a professional who allows me to have the conversation. I'm going there, saving up the money, spending that so I can have a good time and a good meal with my wife, right? And I will pay and tip accordingly for that time. To have that opportunity, as you said, that I have to be here with the good pay that I've had and have a good, well done meal executed perfectly at a high-end restaurant. And these people are professionals. They're strong. One of the greatest experiences I ever had was at a Denny's. There was 30 of us that went to go eat, and this lady took all of our orders, didn't write a single one down, got nothing wrong. Yeah. And it's the first time I saw college kids tip, because she was phenomenal, right? So to sit there and think that anybody can do that job, No,
you certainly to be good at it. Like, so when I was, I'll say this story, and I do want to relate all this stuff back to like Twitter and everything, but I
knew we were going back.
The one difference that turned my career around when I was waiting tables. I was waiting tables in Hawaii on a resort, and my boss was telling me, you know, when you work here, you're an order maker. You're not an order taker. And that like totally changed my perspective on things. And what it came down to was like, before it was like, okay, upsell stuff as much as you can, do as much as you can to like, you know, just bring your bill up. But then I realized when you're an order maker, that's not always the case. You learn who your customer is because you look at your customer in terms of like yearly revenue rather than one day. Because that guy, you want that guy coming back. Like you're worth,
exactly.
Or you learn that seat is worth $10,000 or that customer is worth $20,000 in a year. Like that's the big change that people have.
And here's one for you. The best meal I ever had was at the Tommy Bahama restaurant in Honolulu. It was executed perfectly. It was great food. It was locally sourced. And I will tell anyone, if you have the opportunity to go and eat at that Tommy Bahamas, because that place was managed phenomenal.
Hey,
and great. And I cut Shags off, but I just want to say that is also something that word of mouth that you're representing when you're there. You know, I'm not, I know I'm not getting screwed. I'll pay a good money amount, you know, for a fair meal. Two things.
Sorry, when you were working in Hawaii, Shags, was the last name of the owner of the restaurant, did it begin with an F?
No.
Oh, okay. Because I know somebody who that's what they tell you. Sorry.
Oh, really? I mean, it could be just a popular thing in that area to say.
Yeah, and it is, but I mean, there's a reason for it. And one of the best meals that I think I've had in Hawaii was at a Roy's.
That's where I worked.
Yeah,
I worked at Roy's.
Yeah. Okay.
Chef Roy Yamaguchi.
You were the one who spit in Coulter's food.
No,
that's right.
Never. In all my years, I've never seen someone actually do that. I've seen someone drop food on the floor and then serve it, but I've never, not on purpose, but or actually it was on purpose. He totally did it because he was ashamed and stupid. But I've never ever seen someone like spit into a burger. I don't even know if people actually do that.
Nah, it does happen. I mean, a cop had somebody urinate in his coffee not that long ago, but that's a whole other ballgame.
You've got this
Depends
whole
on the level of restaurant too.
Yeah.
The conversation is this, and I think this is true. And then Jason, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but
no, you're okay.
You can be exceptional in whatever you choose to be exceptional at. And I think that's the bigger part of the conversation. But you can have very little formal education and be Walt Disney. You can be, Bill fucking Gates. You can be Elon. You can be all these
dad,
guys.
Poor dad.
Yeah, it's
about someone from Hawaii.
My kid loves to cook. My kid loves to cook, and I tell him you could be really good at this, and he is good. But he doesn't have the education in order to get to the next level. And you've got this entire generation of kids to kind of pull this back into the Twitter thing with the election and everything with midterms. You've got this whole generation of kids that feels entitled.
Yeah.
And give me what I want, and I want it now, and I don't want to have to work for it.
Yeah.
And you see this with, the millennials and the Gen Zs and all that. Oh, you're gonna forgive my school loan debt? I'll vote for you. Wait a minute. What do you mean you're not gonna?
There's a lot.
Right.
And look, in turning this back to Twitter, you had an entire group of employees, 85% of them, that had no grasp on the real world.
Right.
And they were confronted with it by somebody who was a business person who said, if you're not prepared to work, you don't get to have a job.
Well, it's not even, it's more than that. And how I was going to relate everything back was in business, when you own your own business, your number one, most controllable cost is labor, your labor force, labor hours. And that's the first thing that goes, if you're smart, is you start cutting hours, you start cutting positions, you learn to consolidate jobs and saying, hey, we have a whole bunch of people running around doing the same damn thing. Now we need to learn how many people do we actually need. And that's the first thing he did. He kicked those doors in and we're like, wow, 3,700 contractors later, we don't need you, and however many people in the office, like it's really, people need to know, like, I'm sure, like for someone like Elon Musk, he doesn't give a fuck about most people. It's not personal. He didn't walk in there saying, you leftist assholes, get out of here. I hate you. It was just, hey, this company needs to make money and we're not doing it this way.
Right.
Yeah, and it's
Stay
happening.
woke closet was great.
Yeah. It's happening in every place. It's happening in every place, especially in entertainment. You are going to see, and I know Jason will probably talk to this as well, but you're going to see all these media companies. You've already heard like the first round layoffs. Well, actually, it's the third or fourth round layoffs. They have a shitload more people they're going to lay off. You've no idea how deep these cuts are going to be. First of all, because we're in a damn recession. I don't care what anybody else says. We're there. Okay. Yeah. And you are going to see these entertainment companies start to take a hatchet to it. And it's going to start to look like exactly what Elon Musk did on day effing one.
Yep. It's called whaling and culling. Is how I've seen it described. You basically go in there and say, all right, who are my stars? Who are my rock stars? Who are the people that are getting things done?
Who's essential?
10% who do 90% of the work. Let's find them. So come into work now, be here till 1 o'clock in the morning. We're going to stay overnight. Show me all the code, all of these different demands that he was making. He's testing who's going to step up. Right. Yeah. And you see it in the difference of those two photographs of the staff. You had the one that's all the women, and now you've got the guys, and there's only about a third of them left.
Allegedly, that was another department.
Oh, sure,
yeah,
but
it was a different department.
But it was used as an illustration to sit there and say Twitter before, Twitter after, and you have the people that are still there that are, we're going to get the job done. And it's important to get the job done. And now you've got all these people that are gone that were in our way. Now we can get the job done even better. And the whaling is finding your rock stars. The culling is getting rid of all the fat.
Yep.
Well, that happened during COVID to the medical industry. I mean, I can definitely. Mrs. Flu's in education. I'm in medical, and I worked. Comics knows, I worked like crazy. 3 straight months, 7 days a week, plus 10-hour, 12-hour days, every single time.
He did.
Trying to figure all that stuff, doing those things. And Mrs. Flu did the same thing in education because, we have to be online. And education and healthcare are a generation behind.
Yeah.
Because, to be an educator, you've got to have 12 years of solid schooling. Right. And you've got to have PhDs and things and stuff like that to get to that. But to become a doctor, that takes a lot. And there's a lot of money and stuff involved to get to that. So, but we found out who was essential. And all those nurses that were on TikTok, those were not essential medical personnel.
How embarrassing that was.
And we went down to 20% of what we had. Now, what's the result? You're not getting your cancer screenings.
Yep.
Right? Why? The U.S. has the lowest rate or the highest survivability of colon and breast cancer is because we scan for it early. Early detection and all that stuff is the key, right? So we didn't have that. You have kids that didn't mix out, their immune systems weren't built up. All these things just from not being inside of a society that came out from that. But it also showed who did all the work. And Mayo Clinic, I know that they rewarded those people with extra money and bonuses that the others did not. I know people that sat at home for 8 months and got pay, from there because, we don't know what's going to happen. We come back at any time. But I also know some hospitals didn't have any money. They laid people off immediately out from there because most of your hospital workers are contract and they do not work full time. So most people that are at a hospital, like you go to a place and get a CT scan or something like that, they are there 29 hours a week. Let's see, 27, I think is now not full time. And then they'll get 27 hours somewhere else, right? So they're not getting full-time benefits. They're not doing those things. They're hourly employees. Most of them are independent contractors that set up as their own business. And that's where my youngest, that's where she went. She looked at all that stuff. College wasn't for her. She went into a school for medical technology, and now she's doing high risk scans of OB, cardiac things, stuff like that. That she cannot be wrong, right? It's like a airline mechanic, right, and that kind of stuff. So you don't have to go down that route. And what did Twitter have? All of these people that got BS degrees,
underwater basket weaving,
and gender studies and all that stuff, and just twirling around. And Elon Musk probably went in there, looked at all their resumes, and he did. Okay, you got a degree in this stuff, you're gone.
Well, yeah.
You know?
Well, I would say probably like about 80% of the marketing people are useless.
Toast.
Oh, dude, but
they're always the first to go. The biz dev people, marketing.
Yeah,
maybe
well,
some
because
sales
they have no marketable skills, really. I mean, it's just like these are bodies we can throw at, like, you know, doing things, calling people. This is just bodies.
Well, I know we've mentioned about the whole thing with useless jobs or made up jobs.
Yeah,
and that's the thing. For the most part, Elon got rid of all the useless made up jobs.
Yeah,
trust and safety gone.
Twitter did, not YouTube, but Twitter. Yeah.
Sorry, did I say YouTube? I meant Twitter. Sorry, my bad.
I think that's. I think, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
I agree with you. They did. They went out and they got rid of all of them.
And Twitter didn't break.
Can I mention something really funny to me? It's just funny to me.
Besides your face in the mirror. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't. Was my mic on? I'm sorry. I'll mute myself.
No,
it's been on the whole time.
What's been really funny to me is Hassan got banned on Twitch tonight.
Oh, I did see that.
What?
What was it for?
He was stream sniping Gavin McGinnis. So Censored TV did a copyright claim on him.
Oh, because it was behind a paywall, huh?
Yeah, whoopsie.
Oops.
Nice.
Couldn't have happened to a nicer guy.
He's fine. He's not just everywhere.
I'm sure mommy brought him some more chicken nuggets.
He just got news channel of the year or something like that on YouTube. So
you're kidding.
Has Ethan gotten nuked yet after all of his crazy antics?
He went all stabby Christ. Oh, yeah, he went all stabby Christ today. I was like, "What are you doing, bro?"
He's the gunt, buddy. You know, so get rid of the gunt.
The what now?
The gunt. G-U-N-T.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
You just don't get rid of that.
I saw him trending, or not trending, but I saw some shit on. I was like, who the fuck is that? I didn't even recognize him at first. I guess he dyed his hair or something like that.
I just don't understand him he's not a news program. He's like I don't know. I guess in the loosest sense of the word, he's a news program.
And Lizzo's not an entertainer. I mean, that's it. These award shows, forget it.
Yeah.
The best award show of the year was the Shihulkies by far.
Oh, indeed. Yeah.
And that was all thanks to you, Tox. Just
very well produced.
I'm not trying to pat myself on the back that I don't have on screen.
You should absolutely.
We produce something that people still watch.
We do.
It's fun. So you can't say that about any of the other award shows.
And I feel like if we were to get very powered up, we could do another award.
Oh, the awards of power. Yeah, I got to do.
Yeah, I know you and I have a lot of work to do.
I'm really scared because I cut off Shagsworth, and there's a few people I'm scared of. Number one, Mrs. Flu. My grandmother, who God rest her soul, would rise up from the grave and kill me if I did certain things. And you. So there you go.
Me?
No, Shagsworth.
Oh.
It seems like he would know what freezer to put my body in.
So. He's almost as tall as you, Tox.
I don't know. That's right. You guys saw each other in person.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I was hoping to go down there and see.
Yeah, I got to hug him
next year.
He. By the way,
wow, that's a lot of hair.
Shags is a sexy man. I'm just gonna say that.
Is he sexy?
Ultra's like the gayest guy you can get without being gay.
It really is.
Right.
Yeah.
He has a rainbow cock.
No.
Anywho,
I wouldn't know.
Sorry about that.
What was I going to say? Okay. So Jason had shared this little article regarding Fauci's daughter.
A little extra detail on the daughter. Her name's Allie. She's a software engineer based in San Francisco. There's a shocker.
Yeah, surprise.
Worked on Twitter's Android application for several years. So there's not the content moderation side, but the engineering side. So that's her entry point into Twitter. So I found that, thought it would be worth
fun.
So,
Well, it's certainly an in for, especially for like Fauci, if he needed to, you know.
Wait, didn't Hillary Clinton's daughter, what's her name? Scab?
Chelsea?
Yeah, that's what I
Scab
said.
Clinton.
Yeah. Anyway, she didn't she work for Microsoft?
I have no idea. I don't
remember
pay
that.
attention to her.
I know she got a news job when
she
she had
did
no
a thing.
qualifications for that.
Yeah, she was with NBC for a while, right?
Yeah,
okay,
I
so
believe it was NBC. Yeah,
somebody was with Microsoft. I'm trying to remember who it was. Somebody influential.
Bill
Gates.
Hey, wow, there's 27 people watching. There's Parrothead. Hey.
Yeah,
we got Nick Weiser raid here.
Yes, Nick Weiser raid. I did want to stop real quick and say thank you to Nick for sending your people over. Hope you had a good Toxic Tuesday. You're welcome to join us if you'd like, sir.
Yeah. Show us your bond. I mean, jump in here.
But yeah, everyone who joined, we really appreciate it. Thanks for hanging out. Make sure you hit the like button for us. I screwed up my Rumble stuff tonight, so we're not live on Rumble. We're just on YouTube. No, we're not on Rumble.
Oh.
Turn up your hearing aid.
Are we on Odyssey?
Listen to a word you said.
Odyssey.
No.
Hey, it's Mad Mardigan. Why is he watching a show he's not on?
He's not on the show.
He's not.
Get it. Hey,
He's
Just waiting for something to render.
Well, he could be on here.
Yeah.
I don't know.
If Shag says so. I mean,
I don't care if he comes. No Green Rocks wants to
I'm
jump
going
in
to say
too.
this out loud. I'm going to say this for the last time. Mad Mardigan was on fire, and that dude deserves lots of respect.
So where do you think
Literally
this
on fire.
goes from here next?
That's what I was going to ask. Was where do you guys?
Sorry.
Think?
So
No, you're fine. No, it's totally okay.
yeah,
the Twitter files.
Yeah, because I mean, so it was a stutter start, right? Now we have an explanation of why there was a stutter start. Okay. Hey. And now we've heard this about Jim Baker.
Yeah.
They're going to open up some stuff because there was a to use a culture casino word, there was a dearth of in the Twitter drop of real smoking gun stuff.
Oh, thank you.
I heard a lot of that, and I'm wondering, is that what we're going to get? Now, I mean, did Elon Musk know this guy was in there, know the wolf was in the hen house, and played the ever-loving hell out of him? That's what I wanted to know.
I've seen some speculation to that effect that maybe that he set a trap for Baker to see what he would do, maybe.
Right. So what's next after that? Now that we know that this has happened, I mean, is it wide open? I mean, we got Fauci's daughter worked there, though it doesn't seem like she had any kind of connection. But just because you work on an Android app, that doesn't mean that you program for it. You could have been part of the Scrum team that decided where things went and moved around and did wireframing and stuff. So,
or you could have just like taken the code and handed it over to somebody conveniently.
That's
I defer to Occam's razor though.
That's industrial espionage.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry. I was thinking like that. I apologize.
Yeah. Well, no,
I mean, and that may be a red herring.
In certain cases, like I think the thing is important to like remember Occam's razor is probably most often the right way to go. Yeah. But I mean, there are situations here, like I think with Jim Baker, I think is one of those like, kind of out of left field, like seems like it might be conspiracy on the outside, but obviously. So what I think is like, I think this little drop supplemental about Jim Baker was somewhat unexpected. I think that'll sort of like go down a little bit for a time. And I think we're going to get another dump of like just new information regarding maybe more specifically who was suppressing a lot of the information, maybe like, more names, more executives. I don't know. I think Baker will become kind of a side thing. And then I think we're definitely going to start seeing class action lawsuits, whether it's
James Woods.
Yeah, I think we'll also start seeing more meatier things now that Baker's gone.
I think the Baker thing though takes it back to Russia. So how far back does that part go? Because you've got Crossfire Hurricane in there.
Yes.
You've got the Alpha Bank and Deutsche Bank and all these different things there. All of that stuff got censored, suppressed, fact checked.
Well, I mean, if you want to get down that rabbit hole, you got the WEF, you have World Monetary Fund, you have the WHO. I mean, Baker was involved in a lot of shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I think we'll probably see dumps every Friday.
You've also got
COVID. Wow, we're gonna have a busy couple months then.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. There's a lot there.
Yeah,
because there's a decade worth of this stuff.
This thing
2016 was a long time ago.
It was
18 years, and that started 2015. 18 years, 8. So if you 2015, right? So 7, 8 years at this point from all that happening.
Were any of you guys listening to the quartering stream with Sydney earlier?
I couldn't catch it. I know it was going on. I kept trying to listen every once in a while, but I was tied up.
I was listening all the way back from work, and she's a bit more of a pessimist, and I actually kind of agree with her. She was saying this is great and all, but she doesn't think anything's really going to come of it. Like there's not going to be it's not going to be like lawsuits or anything big like that.
Not anything near term. And that's kind of where I was getting with my question.
Mm-hmm.
So the communists, use the communist stuff, the Red Scare, all that, it was real. Long term, they see long term down the road.
Yeah.
Is Elon long terming Twitter to become this X app? He wants it to be.
Like the interview with WeChat.
Yeah, because SpaceX is a long term play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Is that what he's doing with Twitter? Long-term playing this, cleaning it out, purging it out, letting everybody who has critical thinking as what they do in these things, right? This group here and people are listening. And is he saying, okay, I'm the platform that you as the people that want the fairness of opportunity. That's what the U.S. does. Fairness of opportunity. And it's not necessarily always going to be a level playing field, but there's a process for me to seek some kind of restitution or something like that, like a court system or something, somewhere to go, somewhere to talk. If I feel like I've had a fair treatment, I will be on this platform forever. So is he really thinking to put all this stuff out there and start to, oh yeah, Trump was right, let's go and sue and redo the elections and all this other crap? Or is it that long-term play?
It may be a little.
Go ahead, Jason.
No, I was just saying it could be a little of both. Rob Altus says it has a comment there. People are somewhat dense. I think part of this is opening up the process of discovery for the normies. I agree. This, let's take you step by step down the yellow brick road and show you all of the places. Here's the corruption. But it's just the tip of the iceberg. Here's all the other corruption we haven't seen yet. And you've got that part. And I think stuff like James Woods, fronting a class action suit, all of these different things, that's medium term. And I think, Tox, you're right. I think long term, he's looking at X, whatever that ends up being, because he's talking about, long form video on the platform. He's talking about monetization. He's talking about a lot of these different features that Twitter doesn't have right now, that if he incorporates everything that he's talking about, could make Twitter competitive against YouTube and TikTok and Facebook, and it's just all for one thing.
Yeah.
So, and then eventually it becomes a chip that gets stuck in your head, and then your brain is the social media platform. And that's
in the short term. Yeah, in the short term, sunlight is the best disinfectant. So, I mean, he's already flushed one major player out just in the first week of doing this. I mean, he's going to get rid of some people. And really, even if, yes, the class action lawsuit would be great, but just the exposure of what's going on, some people are going to find out. Like you're saying, the normies are going to start hearing things, even if it's through different channels than they would normally get it.
Well, the issue though is the spin of the media, right? That's the biggest problem with anything, any information wise, is that the media is going to come along and do what I said earlier. They're going to drop a weapon of mass distraction. They're not going to make it about the corruption, the collusion, the breaking of the law by the government, the violation of the Constitution. They're going to make it about racism and sexism and anti-Semitism. That's what they're going to do. Is they're going to barrage that shit out to the public, like what we've already seen. We saw it with Jean-Pierre doing it. We saw it with CNN, and they don't want this stuff out there because they know it's going to be so damaging to them and the government. It's going to be damaging to them because they buried the lead on Hunter Biden. It's going to be damaging to the government and the DNC and, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, because of the collusion, the violation of constitutional rights.
Right.
Well, you got to think too.
Would it not, Comics and anybody else who wants to answer this, would it not be in our best interest to call out the distraction?
Yes.
Waves and waves.
That's the reson why I did that last night, saying that the whole Kanye thing is a weapon of mass distraction.
It is. Yes. We need to keep driving that bus. We need to keep reacting that way. We need to keep calling out. This is a distraction. You don't want to talk about what is bad. This is a distraction. I think we're going to have to keep doing that. And as long as we start that mantra and there's hundreds of us, thousands of us doing that, that's going to change the wave. And that's the problem. There's
the other thing too is it's subverting the narrative, because the big problem right now is that there's a lot of women out there that watch The View and they get their news from The View, and you have The View basically repeating these exact same talking points that I just told you guys about.
Yep. Yeah, talk about a propaganda machine. That show is insane.
That show is 100% pure.
I love with Joy Behar talking about Michael Avenatti and the people in the you are like the second coming of Jesus to him.
You're like the Holy Ghost. You're everywhere.
And now you're going to spend 14 years in jail, motherfucker. Yeah.
So let me ask you this. Is the Balenciaga thing a distraction, or is it a real concern issue that has to be
both? I think both. I think it's unfortunate timing. Yeah. I think it's unfortunate timing, but I think it's a very serious issue that needs to be handled. But I think they're using it right now as a way to be like, hey, look over here. There's nothing over here.
Well, I think the question is, were any laws broken?
Yeah.
That's the thing.
You could be creepy as hell, but if you haven't broken any laws,
I think the Kanye thing is a distraction, and maybe it's just because of who I am. But I think talking about it is something that is important as well. But if we could talk about both and be like, yeah, that was crap that Kanye just said. Oh, by the way, this is what's happening, instead of just ignoring it because it is a distraction. Because I mean, look, what was it, McGinnis? He was on McGinnis' show and everything like that.
Yeah.
So I mean, for sure, this is a distraction. But to say like, yeah, that's bull crap, and then move on to the next thing.
Well, you have all that Jewish money to fall back on.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. I mean, it's obvious you've got millions in diamonds and stuff. Yeah.
Well,
he's so obviously crazy.
Yeah.
I feel sorry for him.
We all are looking at him being like, oh, poor. Like at this point, it's not like, oh, he's this or that. It's, oh, this dude might need some actual help.
He needs some actual
somebody help him.
Right. Because anyone who still holds, and here's where I think talking about the Kanye West thing is important. Anyone who still holds those ideals, the white supremacist ideals, the anti-Semitism ideals, the Holocaust deniers, all that kind of stuff. I think 95% of us are going to say those people are wrong.
Yeah. Everybody just goes, that dude's an idiot.
Yep.
There's somebody who had a mental something and got taken advantage of by two real scumbags. And if it can happen to that billionaire, it can happen to you.
Pretty much.
Yeah. But I see what you're saying. No, Green, you're right. We do need to talk about that stuff, but it has to be
it's like a second seat. It's like
it's a second seat. We talk about this. We agree. Yeah, that's all wrong. There's something wrong with him.
Next.
Yeah.
And we got to call it out for what it is. It's a weapon of mass distraction. Back to the
Balenciaga you guys thing. All have a Jewish
I would say
friend,
that's a weapon of mass distraction as well, to a degree, because if any laws were broken, that's Balenciaga. Were laws broken?
Yes.
I mean, I should say so.
How? What laws were broken?
Didn't they have children in those pictures? Isn't that like a?
Nope.
Well, you have to dive
They
down the
had
rabbit hole.
children in pictures with bondage bears. You could write that off as saying that's art, quote unquote.
Well,
Were any
It's
laws actually
inappropriate.
broken?
It's not illegal.
It's not appropriate, yeah, but it's not illegal.
Again,
it's a social flash distraction.
Yeah.
Well, maybe so, but when you start to dive down that rabbit hole, that distraction is very disturbing. Across the board.
I'm not saying it's not.
Yeah,
but again, it goes back to what I said. Were any laws broken?
All right.
I mean, I saw your video today, Culture.
Yeah.
The one that you said that wasn't going to get too much traction. And I'm sitting there be like, yeah, this isn't going to get too much. I'm glad he's talking about it. I mean, I don't know if you wanted to talk about it in another place, but you're covering topics that are rough to cover.
So you have a billionaire that runs a company called Bearing, and it has 19 different fashion houses, high-end luxury brands that are, brand ambassadors are spread out. They're all celebrities. And, this is a guy that is all about showing some terrible, terrible things. In fact, he runs the Christie's auction house at this point, and they auction off this pornographic, child exploitative art pieces. In fact, he has some in his collection, et cetera, et cetera. This Lada Volkova chick is a freak show of of the highest caliber, and every single thing in here shows you who these people are. I mean, it's just it's fine. I mean, we can definitely say nothing illegal happened, sure. But this is the mentality of the people that are involved in all of this. And, I mean, outside of the photographer who set up the shot, as far as like where the camera went and where the lighting went, everything else is done by these specific group of people, these specific designers, including Rachel Chandler, who's an Epstein, acolyte. And you have all of this stuff. Like, I mean, it's just like all of these people involved in all the same terrible behavior, and it's a pattern. See, and that's if you were,
I understand that Culture, and again, I'm not saying I condone this because I absolutely do not.
I know you don't.
Unless there is something that is actually illegal, I can write all of that off as edgy art.
Yeah, and that's the big issue, and I think that where people get lost is like they'll lean into that, like, well, this is just art, but I think most people understand how inappropriate it is, but there's a lot of, and I'm with comics on this.
It's like
in
the
a lot of
piss
ways.
Christ thing that they did.
It's like
no. This is far worse. I mean,
I was about to bring that up too.
You have children. Like, there's an art piece that's called dick face, or no, a fuck face.
I know what you're talking about. It's disgusting.
Yeah.
Okay. And
it goes back to what I said, Culture. Remember,
I know
you can create computer generated CP, and it's perfectly legal.
It shouldn't. I mean, honestly, I don't think it should.
Even under the 2008
legal.
Wait. Even under the 2008 Williams versus the United States, which is the thing that was actually in one of the Balenciaga campaigns, the actual Supreme Court thing about CP was actually on the fucking desk in that ad campaign.
Mm-hmm.
That's not linked at all. Everything, I mean, we're good. It's fine.
I'm not saying it's fine. I'm not saying I agree with it. I'm just saying no laws were broken.
Yeah, it's like the thing with Alex
It's very
Jones.
easy for me to go, you know what? Someone's just being edgy.
It's that thing with Alex Jones. If you're platforming somebody, it's not that you necessarily agree.
Yeah,
but,
right. So we have an inherent desire to shake our finger at other people and make ourselves feel better about ourselves.
Yeah.
So
no, humans in general.
Okay.
Yes, you Culture, son of a bitch.
Well, I'm just making sure because I mean, I just
play the thing. Play it, Shags. Play it.
Shut up, bitch.
But so when we look at Kanye, we shake our finger at him. You shouldn't do that. That's horrible. Yeah, we know that. All of that stuff was horrible. Anybody who denies that happened, I'm sorry, you're an idiot. That's just the way it goes, right? It's kind of like the world is flat. No, it's not. They knew that several hundred years, probably thousands of years, if you listen to Graham Hancock, that the world was round. We've known this for a long time.
Forever.
Okay?
Bible.
Yeah. So maybe not comics, but I mean, he has an anthropology degree. I don't know if that allows for the world to be round.
They don't do geography.
But we want to, so we wag our fingers at other people and saying that person's awful so that I feel better about myself. At least I'm not them. At least I'm not them. So it's a distraction of me looking in the mirror, and the Michael Jackson song, I got to start with the man in the mirror. Whatever he did and all that stuff. You look in the mirror, that's the person you can control. That's the person now you can do something. All of us can look in the mirror right now and make a choice to improve ourselves. All right. And that's hard to say, okay, yep, I'm responsible for me. And people will say, I'm going to be responsible for No Green Rocks because he needs to get a haircut. And I'm going to be responsible for Shagsworth because he's that man bun. You know, you say all those things and stuff, right? To distract myself from the fact that I need to go, take care of something myself. There's things that I have to do. So people will get their nose into somebody else's business to feel better about themselves because they don't have the internal guts, fortitude, whatever you want to call it, to address themselves and their own issues and make themselves better.
Well, I hope that Elon's Elon spent years of his life now attempting to better humanity. Obviously there's some monetary gain involved with it, but he's put in a lot of work that people will benefit for years to come, hopefully. And I think Twitter is, even though it might be his new pet project, he understands what Twitter is and what it can be used for and what it has been used for in the past. And I think by exposing, the former upper management of what's going on, you can, it's also inspiring people, like hopefully like someone like James Woods. It's like, you know what, sometimes it's good to like put your money out there so other people can benefit from this. And, while it might cost him a lot of money to do, or, like this, we're at a tipping point where we've just discovered that a potential White House administration was I was about to say fondling, was
well, there might be that too.
Was messing around in
coordinating
Twitter and coordinating with with tech execs, and then
Zuckerberg came out and distanced himself really dang quick, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, and they all know full well that they are culpable for fixing an election. They're in violation of many things.
Before I don't want to get taken down or anything. So what I will say is this, like, especially especially kind of like response to like Trump's tweet, he's onto something, because like, how do you quantify like what they did and how it actually affected certain things? Like, yes, information wasn't getting out there, but would it even be possible to look at what has transpired between the Biden administration and Twitter? And did that actually, all of us could agree that there was an effect, right?
Right.
Yeah. Ben Shapiro said it pretty well yesterday.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Thomas.
Okay. That's why there's a certification of the election and the end of it. All right. That's over.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And there are many people that need to get out of 2020, like all of CNN. 2020 is over. Yeah. Donald Trump, 2020 is over, right? He's over.
Well, it's just like 2016 is over with too.
Yeah, 2016 is over. It's all over. Hillary, get over it.
You fucking lost, lady.
Yeah,
you'll never be president. Nobody
said it pretty good yesterday, though.
Yeah,
and I don't think this would get us in trouble, but we need to stop using the stolen word and maybe start using the rigging word, because rigging is a completely different thing than stealing.
Well, what's this?
Rigging, we can say they changed the laws, they changed rules, they changed.
I just want equal opportunity for voters, but you have to have responsibility in that. Yep. If there's no responsibility of me getting up and going to the polls and actually casting my vote, or working with people who may not be able to do that to get their absentee ballots, there's a responsibility of citizenship, okay? And that responsibility is to be informed and to vote. Not everybody's going to do that. So those of us that are, we need to be responsible, look at those things and go vote.
Yeah.
And that's what needs to happen.
Real quick, No Green Rocks has to hop off.
Bye.
Yeah, sorry guys. I got to go check on my space laser and then go to bed.
All right, man. Good luck with the space laser.
Is that what you're calling it these days, you young kids? Space laser.
Check me out on the Midweek Hub tomorrow. I'm excited to be on. I got that video done and we're good to go. So I'm excited for that. Cool. And on Friday night, I will be hanging out with Brahmable, Corey, and Sunchu's Ghost. We will be doing a stream on his channel for my birthday. So hopefully I'll see you guys there.
It's going to be awesome.
Woo!
It's going to be fun.
There's a birthday stream?
Yes. Brahma contacted me on the weekend, was like, dude, what are you doing for your birthday? I'm like, I don't know. He's like, so come, like, let's do something. I'm like, all right, sweet. Thank you, Brahma. Oh my God, you're awesome.
Hey,
so
the tweet actually said,
yeah.
I'm sorry?
Which day were you doing the birthday stream that you invited me to? Was that Friday or Saturday?
Saturday. Saturday, we're going to be having Adam Krigler on. We're going to be having Corey on and Comics. If you want to come on, you're more than welcome as well.
I'm not going to be able to make it, dude. We're moving my grandmother.
Never mind. Fuck you, Comics. Get out of here.
I'm sorry. We're moving my grandmother. And
well, you know what?
I have to help with moving her hospital bed. So.
If you want to come by a little bit for the Friday night stream, you can, Comics, because we'll try to cycle through some guests for the
I can swing
stream.
By
That'll be after FMT. We're looking at like trying to start if Gary keeps things on his usual schedule, trying to start like right after you guys end or 30 minutes after you guys end. So
yeah,
it's like 7:30 Mountain, something like that.
At least come over and make fun of No Green Rocks finally turning 21.
Exactly.
Early 30s, but yeah, thank you.
Well,
you old farts.
All right, comics. Let's punch him out.
All right, see you later.
I can't. It's not my stream.
No ticket.
No ticket.
Yeah.
He smells like a gorilla.
Okay, so Jason, you pulled up this tweet.
Yeah, circling back to what we were talking about earlier about where this goes next. We're already starting to see, because we talked about the election and all of that, but also all of the COVID stuff. And American First Legal has filed a lawsuit, and they've got a document dump that is they're now going through here. So Twitter files 3.0, 4.0. Is this where we are next? Talking about this Twitter portal that we've found out a lot of government people were using. So it's not just election stuff. It's
whatever.
All of the shot stuff, all of the vax stuff, and everything else.
Whatever censorship they want.
Yeah.
God
so
damn.
I think the cesspool is deep, and we're gonna find out day by day just how deep it is. And this is the thing that I keep coming back to. At what point do enough people decide enough is enough? Because we keep finding out about this crap, and we keep finding out about more stuff and more stuff and more, and nothing ever happens. At some point, the citizenry, our John Q. Public, us, we have to start making phone calls, start sending emails. We have to go to the offices of our elected officials and say, do something about this. Otherwise, we're just sitting around taking it.
I wonder if that is like, just the grassroots, like, talking to your senators and representatives and being like, hey, this is important to us, and you need to start, mobilizing against certain individuals, because it's impeding our own liberties, things that were supposed to be inalienable, and now government entities have been working to suppress certain information.
Well, it definitely worked here in Illinois.
Yeah,
for all the stuff that I'm going to be dealing with January 1st, and we got 62
baby.
We got 62 state, county, district attorneys suing to try and get this safety first BS thing. So they're saying it's unconstitutional. So that's more than half the counties in the state.
Well, and
do that, and that came from enough of people going around and saying this is BS. From there, there were none of the counties around me, but there's still freedom-loving people. In the middle of all this stuff happening and all the Trump hate that happened around here, Mrs. Flew was able to. She went to some things for Christmas a couple of years ago, and she said, to be, oh yeah, this, and she was wearing certain things. And they're like, oh yeah, we like that. And she mentioned some things about, you know, 2A and having conceal, you know, we were going to classes and stuff. And like, oh really? Maybe you want to see some of these pins. So this guy was making pins, open them up. One of them's a 50 cal bullet pin that says, and I've got it right in front of me, Trump 2020, F your feelings. And it's a 50 cal bullet. So even in this state where it is blue as they can get, there's plenty of people that feel this way about freedom. And I saw more people with flying U.S. flags here. I have a blue line flag myself. And more people with opposition signs in their yard this election season. So there were enough people that were really starting to get tired of it. So maybe it's not going to be an instant gratification thing. And I don't think this Twitter thing is going to be instant gratification. Mad Mardigan said that in the chat. He said this is going to be a slow burn.
Yeah, it has to be.
It needs to be to keep people's attention.
Right. So this may be, I'm going to have to rely on the kids that I taught to critically think and to love freedom of expression and freedom of that to carry that torch for me later on. We may need 5-10 years to get out of this or longer.
It may be even longer than that because the progressives have had 100 years. I mean, this goes back all the way to Woodrow Wilson.
Yeah.
And it took us 100 years to get here. It's going to take us 100 years to get out of it, would be my guess.
It's
also, Jason, can you share that tweet in the private chat that you're showing previously?
This one or the
no, the other one.
Oh yeah, yeah. Actually, for me too. I got the article, but I would like to see the tweet thread for that.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Let me.
Another food processing plant.
Yeah.
Shock of all shocks. Was there a Chinese communist police force next to that one too?
Let me pull it back up here. Here it is.
Yeah, there was another one. Comics.
Go figure.
Yeah. I don't know what that makes. I'll talk to Southern Belle about that.
Yeah, I know. It's
what 30.
I know it was like
it was over 30. I think
over 30. Yeah, this year, right?
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Southern Belle had a spreadsheet she was sharing with us with all these things from there, and you're like, oh, okay, it's a conspiracy theory, all that, until you see it all correlated right in front of you.
Yeah,
it's kind of slowed down since people started noticing, though.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, one of the things that I pointed out is that apparently manufacturing does have fires like that. It's the damage, because usually they're able to put it out pretty quickly. And that's the thing. It's the damage that's being done is what is unusual. Especially when you have like whole plants burning down. That's like really fucking unusual.
Accelerants are being.
Yeah.
You will eat the bugs and you will like them.
So, Jason, we're all staring at you.
Staring at me. Why are you staring at me?
I thought you were going to share that article.
Oh, there it is.
I just put it in the. Yeah, I just put it in the.
You put it in the private chat.
Do you want me to share it again?
Oh no, you don't need to. I just wanted the link so I could take a look at it later.
Yeah, there it is.
Oh, okay.
Oh, Comics Bar orders at you. Yeah.
I had to move it from one window to another another.
I know, dude. I know. That's the thing about having 12 monitors. I mean, it's just,
and this is another totally different. Like, this is outside of. I assume this is outside of the files that we're getting from, like, Matt Taibbi and Barry Weiss and stuff. Like, this is a completely other thing.
No,
which,
AFL.
Right. Yeah. This is big, and I agree with you guys. I think that the biggest thing that could happen is that this is all slow and it goes to the proper process, because if someone tries to run this thing too quick, it's going to disappear, or someone's going to forget to do something and it's going to get thrown out. Like, they need all the care in the world with this. And I think, there was some comedian who's always on Joe Rogan had tweeted out, like, why isn't Elon giving this to more people? And I don't know why he hasn't either. Maybe it's just to kind of keep it close to the chest and not mix it up with a bunch of people. And, but
I let me put it this way: Matt Taibbi, not a right wing guy.
No, he's not
right.
No,
he's not. No.
He's not.
Neither is Barry Weiss, by the way.
I mean, this guy was a writer and I guess some kind of an editor at Rolling Stone. This is not a dude that you would like say this is a right wing. No, you can't say that. And then what's her name?
Barry Weiss.
Or Weiss.
You can't say that she's like on that side of the aisle either. It's like you have like two people who are like giving you real information, and how are you going to hit them? I mean, that's the thing. You're watching these lefties hit on Matt specifically, and I'm going, are you fucking crazy? Have you read the shit that they've written?
Well, no, it's anybody who goes against the narrative is instantly right wing. You know,
right.
That's kind of thing. It's you could have the most liberal positions, but as soon as you come against the establishment and the Democratic Party, you're automatically labeled right wing.
Yeah.
Well, and
for free speech, you're right wing Nazi.
Well, Barry White popped up on the radar when she called out New York Times. I mean, she basically torched the bridge behind her, and she wrote that very public resignation that says, you guys on the editorial board of the New York Times are beholden to the 12 angry children on Twitter.
Yeah.
It's time to stop. Quit bending the knee to the cancel cult.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where I first saw her, and she's got her Substack. She's got some
Oh, she's been rocking it. Yeah, I mean, I'm like, it's weird because I'm paying more. That's weird. I'm paying more attention to Puck Media, a lot of people's Substacks, all this other stuff. I'm looking at alternative media now, and I'm like, it's a completely different world. It's a breath of fresh air because
it doesn't matter beholden to the establishment anymore.
Right.
Exactly.
They're actually reporting. They're not making up stories.
It doesn't matter if you're right, left, doesn't matter. If you're on those platforms, that's all you're doing. You're producing news. You're like, wow, this thing happened. This is how it happened. This is the people that did it. It's like factual based shit that the news media stopped doing, I don't know, 2 decades ago. I'm like, good Christ. It's insane.
As far as the question of why didn't you give it to more people, Elon's in a different stratosphere than
Yeah, I mean,
I'm sure he vetted them very closely, and I'm sure his circle of trust is a very, very small circle. So somehow they got in it. They're the ones he's going to give the information, and they're the ones.
Well, and I look at. Yeah, no, you're right.
And I look with Ian Michael Chong and all that stuff was.
Fuck that guy in the air.
What?
I wonder if
this came up in my Twitter feed in the middle of all this other stuff. It is apparently a hot dog cake.
Hot dog cake.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna get sick.
Cake. That's disgusting.
I have to wonder if Elon's going to give any of this to Catherine Herridge over at CBS. Well, she's a pretty straight shooter as well.
Okay, but CBS has been reporting some really heinous shit that is completely inaccurate for like 2 years.
And she's a TV person. I think he's going to stick with alternative media type people.
Here's a question for you. Because I don't want to forget this. And it's been so I think that the reason that we are where we are right now is that the 24-hour news cycles turn news into entertainment, right? You always have to have something coming up. You got to have something to report.
Right.
So how now do we return to a time? I mean, maybe I know the answer, but I'd like to hear you guys thoughts on it. How do we return to to news that is actually being accurately reported on and not just being, emotional rage bait, and then the story then works back recursively till they actually get to the truth, because that seems to be destroying the American people. Like it just appeals to whoever's base it is. It doesn't have to be accurate, and then they'll slowly sort of work back to the truth until you just don't really care what happened. You're just still mad at the original thing.
Accountability.
I think that's part of it. I think accountability is part of it. I think you're right, culture, but I think also the fact that there needs to be more emphasis on waiting for the story to play out. Hannity has been talking about this a lot lately. He's like, you don't just jump on the first thing and start reporting it without vetting it. And there are too many media outlets that have gotten away from 2 separate sources. Verification, find out what it is that you know before you report what you know. And maybe with the alternative media, we might get a little bit closer back to that, where you have multiple sources coming in from various different places across the web, so that you could now start to collate and say, okay, here's what we know, here's what we speculate, here's what we don't know yet. And maybe the alternative media is a place where that can happen a little bit more, and get back to the what Paul Harvey called the rest of the story, because this this whole we've got to get it out there now. You're right. The 24-hour news cycle has just killed all of this. But that goes back to CNN and Baghdad when the war in Iraq happened. It was we're looking to see what happened is all the time. What's going on now? What's going on now? So, we've kind of done it to ourselves, but there's also that money factor where, if we're first, we've got the top ratings, we get the most advertiser money.
Yeah, that's kind of
your narrative.
Yeah, that's the biggest issue, right? Is the whole thing with accuracy. It doesn't matter if it's accurate as long as it's first, right? That's kind of like the mantra of modern mainstream entertainment.
Yeah, they can hold that narrative for a certain amount of time. Exactly. They don't have to worry about it if it's the truth.
I think there isn't a way of fixing it at all.
I think
this isn't a new thing.
Yeah, even if you get rid of the 24-hour news cycle, you can't put the genie back in the bottle once it's out. I think in order to fix news and journalism, it has to collapse completely, and you have to have something rise out its place. Maybe it's the alternative news media that we're seeing right now. But as it is, news and journalism is broken, and I don't think it can be fixed.
I think the only way you might be able to fix it is, like in every other area that we've talked about, get control of the education again. Teach people how to be actual journalists, and then maybe those people will get hired and do actual journalism. But that is a long cycle, as we've seen. We're not going to break through in the universities in a very quick manner.
Right.
But
and
that would be one possible way to get things done. Yeah.
Yeah.
Money is another issue. It's because the way stories are sensationalized, the way they are reported, the way they are biased. Again, going back to the whole thing with Kyle Rittenhouse, look how misreported that whole thing was.
Covington kids. We can go through a whole.
We can list a whole bunch, and a lot of it comes back down to money and a lack of accountability, like Culture pointed out. And I just don't see those issues being solved with the current mainstream media.
I think it's a long-term thing because with lockdown, you had a lot of parents that realized just how badly the kids are getting taught in the education system. That's got to collapse too, because your kids come in, they're not getting taught critical thinking skills. They're not being taught how to research things. Nobody knows what the card catalog is or the Encyclopedia Britannica or anything like that. They don't know how to look
Dewey's
this stuff
Decimal
up.
System.
Yeah.
And until you get a handle on that, then all of the rest of this is just going to be kind of out there broken until a generation comes in that says, we know how to think. This is broken. Let's fix it. It's going to be a long-term thing just like everything else.
I agree. It's not. There's no short term. And I gotta go, guys. I'm really tired.
Oh wow! Really?
And I do too.
Yes, Mad.
Shags, to answer your question,
I want to say
it never gets fixed.
Comics is 100% right, though. It's all local. Talks about it. Comics talks about it. A lot of people do. If we get the school boards back, we can get rid of all of this weird libs of TikTok stuff.
Here's the way you can fix things, guys. Pay your local newspaper, because nobody wants to have the paper anymore. Maybe it's because it's trash. I don't know. But you need to invest into local journalism. The best way of doing that is supporting your local paper. And on that note, good night, folks.
Hey, comics, don't forget to put out the dumpsters. Trash is in the morning.
No, that's
Mad, you're great.
That's Thursday.
Your day off. Bro.
Actually, thank you for reminding me. My trash comes tomorrow.
See?
Mine's already out.
Guys. I'll see you.
Good night. See you, comics.
See you then.
Man, do you know which avatar you're sporting, bro?
Yeah, my Tigger.
That's a good look. Shags, I just want to say, I don't think there is a solution to this, because this whole 24-hour news cycle and all that kind of stuff, it's happened throughout time in different ways. It's doesn't matter whether it's 24 or not. The 24-hour news cycle is I think unimportant in this stuff. What is important is the small amount of people who control it.
Yeah.
And that's why YouTube, when it started out, was so big because there were so many people getting out there and so many things being seen, and you could go and learn stuff and do things and alternative viewpoints and things happening. And then they had to grab control of Twitter or of YouTube. They had to grab control of this because it would expose them. And there would be embarrassments and things like that. They had to come up with ways to deal with it. But you're not going to fix that. You're always going to have people who have money. You're always going to have people who don't have money. You're always going to have the poor are always among us, right? It's never going to go away.
Right.
And that's why I don't want social issues in my politics.
Right.
Because politics is a totally different thing. It's about governing people. Mm-hmm. And as an individualist, the governance should be murder is murder. We can define on that. We can define this, find that from the laws and where those come from. But anything social issues that haven't been solved in tens of thousands of years of human history, we're not going to solve them. There is no bullet for that.
I agree on a federal level. However, I think, being the type of country that we are, states should be able to make that decision of whether or not they're going to address.
We do 100%, Matt. 100%.
We do have to
what makes this form of government so unique.
Yeah, we do have to reassert at a state level. You guys are both right, and thank you for bringing that up. But I have
to move back and forth. Yeah,
I have to go because Shags is putting his hair back up, and I don't want to have to keep calling him Shagsy the rest of the night.
I've seen you with your hair up.
Yeah. When he goes man bun,
excuse me, you've had your hair up.
Oh, Culture? Yeah, I've seen him.
Oh,
yes, when you were trying to get in your costume.
Nope.
Yep, it's Star Trek. It was Halloween 2021.
I pushed my hair back so that I could put the costume on.
Mm-hmm.
Let's try that again. Look.
Believe it or not, he has more hair on his chest than he does his head.
With your hair pulled up.
Culture had him a bun.
No. Is when you're riding a motorcycle or you're riding a horse. Absent that, the only other acceptable times would be because it's part of your job. That's it.
That's usually why I do it now, is because for 15 years it was part of my job to have my hair pulled back.
Well, now it's not. So yeah, rocking that yoga boss bun. Well done, looking good.
He's just jealous because I have my youth still.
That's right. Are you gonna tap your toes to the top of your head now? I mean, like
there are parts of culture that are falling off. So yeah,
I'm probably more flexible than you. I'm just saying.
Probably by a lot, since I've had both hips replaced.
That's not. I wasn't talking to you, Blue.
When I was at my doctor the other day, there was on the wall. It was like 85% of people who break a hip die in 2 weeks. I don't remember the exact stats that was on there.
Wow,
but damn, dude, people. That's old people.
Yeah.
But I was like, man, can you preemptively put new hips in?
Yeah, actually, you can.
No, bro, I'm thinking about it, man. I want to get like some titanium legs and shit.
Hey, oh no, I'm going to tell you, right? Well, no, I'm not going to say
ceramic coated titanium. That's exactly what it
Matt,
is.
you and I can talk about this seriously behind the scenes because I have a family member who actually went and got it done. They're like, you know what? I'm feeling this hurts a little bit. Let's just get this.
But if I fall the right way, and there's chips that come off of that ceramic, and you have two major arteries down through.
Oh yeah, it's no bueno.
And then you break a hip, you cut something like that, you're dead.
If I went in, I would need new knees. I have a heel that I fractured in OSIT at Knox. I mean, because all kinds of beat up.
Yeah, there's
shoulder.
Yeah. I mean, they replaced some of your
skin.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yes.
So weird.
I thought I lost a nipple too.
Oh shit! Really?
Yeah, I remember I was in the tub. My dad was doing wound care on the skin grafts and stuff, and it was cold, and my nipple got hard. And I was like, Dad, I didn't lose my nipple. It's still there. I was very excited.
Like, what, did they put it on your back or some shit?
No, because so my stomach is all burnt and up the left side of my chest. Right. So that nipple was burnt. My other nipple wasn't.
So you can still chest feed.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna go. I had a great time tonight.
Wait, mammals?
Mammals, yeah.
I'm really not interested in chest feeding stories by Man Mardigan. So no, I miss Mad a lot, and I'm a lot for some reason. I don't know.
Culture doesn't know how to leave.
Fuck you guys.
Worse at this.
My culture. He's on every day 4,000 times.
I'm looking at the private chat. He said he had to bell an hour ago.
And if I can shake him loose from his hetero life mate tomorrow, he'll be on our show after he's on Midnight's Edge. So
good luck with that.
I know. But he does enjoy spending time with us talking about money. So we'll see.
You know, Shags, you've been doing a really good job hosting these little bits that you've had on this Twitter stuff. We've got some really alpha people on trying to talk about these things, and I really enjoyed the first one. I didn't participate in that, but and I participated in this one. Thank you for
this one. Yeah, no, this one I think got a little bit more out of hand because it didn't get out of hand, but like we definitely deviated a few times because the information dump wasn't nearly as extensive this time.
Right. I mean, we're talking about food on Hawaii. I mean, that's great. I'm all over that.
No, these are fun. I like doing these because I like talking about the news on my own, but I think having the roundtables and like getting together with people that you respect and who are also following this stuff to some extent is important. Get different perspectives and it's a big thing going on right now. Anything I can do to like boost my channel a little bit, because I know like even the reaction video I did with from the monk debates, like that was one of the better performing live videos. It got like over 600 views after it was after I was finished. So, and that never,
you never know. At Ricada doing the Rittenhouse trial, I mean, his channel was not in, and then boom, up he went. Huge. And he was one of YouTube's top earners. And he's his hour-long video describing what happened when he got kicked off and all those things he talks about. He's like, I'm getting 3 times the views on Rumble. And he's 3 times the cash.
I have noticed too, like doing the like, well, tonight we didn't do the stream on Rumble because I fucked up, but like when the both streams are going on, there's more like organic flow from Rumble because I think they are pushing streams more. But like there'll be days where there's like 10, 15 people watching over there. Like there's not a lot of people chatting because I think their chat's kind of fucked up right now.
The chat's real screwed up. They're on their mobile. Their mobile apps are not up to stuff. Right.
So like that's annoying. But I mean, this stuff has been nice because it's something new and everyone's interested in. And if like the next time there's a dump, I might try and like do something right away, kind of like the quartering did today, just to maybe get ahead of it and be one of the only people talking about it. But I love these things because I obviously respect all your guys' opinions. So it's fun. This, like I told you guys, if I could do this all day, every day, and just talk to people, that's what I would do if I get paid for it.
Well, you did a really good job. It was Friday night or Saturday night when you did that, and I was listening. You were, bam, let's get back to this. And of course, you had those things to go down. To do that. But and I've noticed that in the live streams that I've caught and watched you doing from there. So I just want to, as whether my opinion on this or anything matters, I think that you handle the stream and handle panelists very well, and it's enjoyable for the audience. Because normally you get Culture Brahma, Jason, and comics on a stream, and I'm like, oh God, the 4 assholes of the apocalypse, right? Yeah. But that's a lot of strong personalities, have a lot of things to say. Wow. And you manage that very well from there. So I thought it was just...
This is the first time I've ever been on anything with you, and you're doing good. I
not as good as
I probably shouldn't have opened up with this icon, this avatar. That may have been. Maybe I should have eased you into it, but yeah.
The man with one nipple.
Shags meet mad Shag.
As cynical as I am, I have it on good authority that I'm a good person. At least that's what my wife thinks. So would he tell her any different?
My mom tells me I'm special too.
I get that all the time.
My wife doesn't.
Mom tells me I'm her number one son. I'm her only son.
You're our only son.
You're number one.
But I'm number one. And Dad will tell me I'm the first one that lived. So, yeah. You made it past me. Oh, that's good. Yeah, way to go, kid.
No, I appreciate the kind words, y'all. That's very nice.
I just keep doing it, you know. And
oh yeah,
like Nick Weiser. Nick Weiser, he had did Carrie Smith's show, talking about how he got started and things like that. And he's like, I'm going to do this my way, and he has a show during the middle of Friday Night Tights talking about comic books, and it's great having 4 or 5 people get together and they deep dive into something they love.
Yep.
Right, and hear that stuff. And the stuff he does, Toxic Tuesday, is great. But he's doing his thing. And
I do think that is important. Make sure that you're doing it your way. I mean, obviously, there's going to be overlap with ideas or whatever because YouTube's been around for so long. There's really nothing new. In a lot of sense, there's going to be some crossover, like with movies with Mad. We're not the first ones to do commentary on a movie and edit it.
That's been done all over times.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But I think with the group that we have doing it, I feel like it's unique in a lot of sense. We even have a chick on it.
The personalities really mesh, and I think your editing. I know you're spending a lot of time editing on that. I think it's really well done. I laugh like crazy at every single one of them because Mad comes up with some stuff out of left field, and I like to be caught off guard. So humor that catches me off guard, that really makes me belly laugh.
This one, man, a lot of editing because Brahma said the Oriental word so many times.
Oh, God.
Now it's me.
Now it's your fault.
Okay.
Well, it wasn't me.
Of course not. It was Yeti.
Real quick, Matt, since you just got here, and we're close to wrapping up just because I need some sleep because of. But I was interested in like since it's your first time or in this panel, like what are your thoughts on everything happening with Twitter right now? And do you see some big changes coming?
I don't think it's going to be anything. I think people are looking for that aha moment with the change or something bigger than what it will be. I think what we'll see are minor changes that will make a big difference. It's the same way if you look at a football team, right? Your defensive scheme. There's little things that you can do that will make a huge impact on your overall play. You know, putting players in the right positions to maximize what they do well. It's not flashy, but it's solid. I think it will be a more fair place to express your opinions. Because man, I've seen some cuckoo banana opinions on my time. Boy, Drew, I love him, but man, my man. But I think it will be more open to ideas to be put out there, and my favorite part is watching the left melt down over the whole thing and just get it all wrong. I love it, but like what I think it is going to play an important part moving forward because what I mentioned earlier in the chat about the way that we can actually make change that will be effective is not through any action, but through what we're doing right here. The more people talk about it, the more people hear about it, it will start changing the way that they see things because you're not trying to change what it is you're looking at. You're trying to change the lens through which people see it, their ideology, right? You want to kind of tilt that as much as you can. It's being the aroma, not the bread. You know, you don't want to try to give people the answer. You want to help them find their path to the answer.
Right.
Well, that's well said.
Yeah.
It really is. That's well said. And that is how this is going to happen.
Yeah. And I think
that's like raising kids. It pretty much is. But I wanted that exact. I wish I had that exact phrase. It's not the bread, it's the aroma. I could use it with my kids. That would have been great. I want them to be able to go out and live their own life, but know that I love them and gave them the tools to be able to live their life as best they could.
Yeah. Deepak Chopra, who I've read some of this, he's an interesting guy, but he once talked about how people are always focused on the finger pointing to the moon and not the moon, right? If you, I think we get caught up in the bigger picture of things. It gets hyper focused and you get that tunnel vision, right? Of global elites, or what have you.
Yeah.
And you miss so much that is leading up to it, but the path to it. You know what I mean?
It's kind of freaking out over things you can't control instead
of
absolutely, looking at and taking care of the things you can.
That's right.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah. Well, it's just like the difference between the federal level and the local level, like we were talking about before, where we can affect change at the local level a lot easier than we can globally. World Economic Forum. What are we going to do? This monolith. Start with your school board. Start with your city council.
Well, it's hard to understand huge geopolitical concepts, right? It just, when you start thinking about, if this happens and this and this and this, the reason that they wanted the federal government small is so that it wouldn't be this behemoth that's going to have all of this far-reaching effect across people who are different. I mean, look at our different dialects that we have. The different levels of different foods that we have, the different things that we enjoy. And that's within a few thousand miles of people.
Yeah. The biggest problem though, the advantage to focusing on local things is you don't have to worry about the lobbyist, right? Because nothing will change at a federal level unless you clean that out. It's fundamental. It doesn't matter what you're focused on, what you're trying to change, as long as that apparatus is allowed to continue to operate, especially the way it does. It fundamentally changes everything that the federal government does in the worst way possible. Because even at the level of, you have senators and they have their staff, right? As soon as they get a handle on how things work, they get picked up by lobbyists to make big money because they don't make shit. So you have that constant turnover with people who don't know what they're doing because they're always getting picked up by these different lobbies. So there's so many levels to why that is affecting the way our government operates. Something has to be done about that, but no one inside of the machine is going to do anything about it because they all benefit financially and politically from the lobbyists.
Yeah, that's true.
They talk about it plenty, but they never take any action.
Look at the CDC. There were 4 people that quit the CDC before all these decisions came down. And the rest of them were former Pfizer, Moderna execs.
Oh, wow.
Right? So you had 4 people like, okay, all that's going to happen here is my life's going to be ruined. So I need to take care of myself, my family, off I go.
I mean, if people could explain to me how a senator who makes, I don't know, $200,000 a year is worth millions of dollars. I mean, come on. What's happening?
Hundreds of millions of dollars.
Obama went into the presidency with what? $300,000 in assets and came out worth tens of millions?
Well, he had that book.
Right. Well, they all get book deals.
And speaking
one of the most corrupt things out there is the whole book deal thing. They launder a lot of money through that. I think Eric
not
brought
paintings.
that up.
Not paintings, though. That's still legit.
100%. There are no forgeries in paintings.
You can certainly make money like through investing, but then it comes down to like
insider trading.
Is it insider trading? Like that's where we're at now with like someone like Nancy Pelosi. It's like but there's no oversight anymore
during that oil run up.
I think you've said Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Mm-hmm. She made the most money out of that.
It's not across the board because a lot of the times the people that are in politics to the level that like Nancy Pelosi or whatever, they're going to come from families that already have wealth. They're coming from wealthy families because that's the only people that have time to waste on campaigning in politics. Other people got jobs, they have bills, but the elites are always going to have an advantage on not only the funding but also the time.
Yeah.
And that's been going on forever. Woodrow Wilson was an elite and FDR, Franklin Delano Roosevelt, was an elite that was a he was alone all the time. He didn't have any social skills. Neither did Wilson. It was all of their ideas that they had for this Shining Star on the Hill and American, all of that came from ideals in their head, not any kind of practical experience. And it led to a lot of problems for them. But, yeah.
And somebody like AOC is handpicked for a place where she's automatically going to win, typically. So
there is that dichotomy between people with the utopia mindset and regular people who have virtues. You know, if you, I don't know why I was thinking about this earlier, but Point Break, the thing I love about it, it's not that they're bros. You know, what's his name? Keanu Reeves kind of looks at him as an example or as a mentor because he has this philosophy that on the surface looks great. Bro, I just want to go catch the waves and chill, meet chicks and drink all across the world. That's great. However, if you get in the way of his utopian dream, he will kill you. He will leave you behind because it doesn't have the same virtues that Keanu does with his dedication to law, to justice, and that. Right. And when he realizes that oh, his whole thing is bullshit, that's when the changes, and that's kind of what you see. You see people that are with this utopian equity, equality, but look what they are willing to sacrifice and to destroy if it gets in the way of their personal gains.
Yep. Right. It's pretty sad.
Oh, it's like what who was the guy that said it didn't matter what Hunter Biden did.
Oh, Sam Harris.
Sam Harris. Yeah. I mean, come on.
What a sad story he is.
Yeah. And that's there's a certain set of base things that define us as a human race that I think we can all agree on, 4 or 5 base things. Well, and then when we get out of it, and you just pile on too much because people want to leave their mark or they want to make sure, we can make it a little better. We can always make, you know what? No, you can't. Sometimes the best that you have is doing the best that you can with the situation. And some things are going to be tragic. Some people are going to win. And Shags could go out tomorrow, decide to buy a lottery ticket, and bam, $10 million. It could happen. But probably what's going to happen is he's not going to buy the lottery ticket. He'll buy a sandwich and come home. Who knows?
Buying it now.
Yeah, you're buying it too. But
here goes my plans for Wednesday.
I'm sorry, man.
I spend a lot of time picking my numbers.
I just go to my local Chinese restaurant. And I just take those numbers. They'll win
whatever the fortune cookie says.
Yeah, whatever the fortune cookie says.
I know you probably won't want to go. This is the last thing I'm going to say. I was on this. I've had so many bad first dates, but this one date, we're at this bar or whatever, and there was a Chinese place next to it. I had a fortune cookie. She had one too, and she looks at me. She goes, "I want to steal your fortune." I'm like, "What? I'll give it. No, I'll just hand it to you. No, it doesn't count if you give it to me. I have to steal it." So I crack open my fortune cookie, and she's like, "Okay, well now read it." So I start to read it, and this bitch snatches it out of my hand. I'm like, "What the?" She reads it, wads it up, throws it behind her. It wasn't even good, anyways. Who are you?
Oh my gosh,
that's an unstable person,
man.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean,
she left an impression,
her, but I didn't call her back.
Did you give her the tea? Did you give her the mad
cappuccino?
No, syphilis starts with an S.
Oh, that's
takes 5 shots.
Did she walk out the door clapping because you gave it to her?
I snuck. Oh man, I remember I left my keys in this one. It doesn't.
Left it in her what?
Keys in her apartment, and I didn't know how to get a hold of her. It was a whole thing.
I thought it was.
There was that vampire chick I went on a date with.
Oh, that one.
Oh. Vampire.
Yeah. Chick? Well, no, she claimed to be a vampire. Was not on her Tinder profile. Let me tell you, I would have noticed if it said, "Oh, I'm a vampire." She got mad at me because I brought up the whole Twilight, and she's like, "We do not sparkle." I'm like, "Well, maybe it's a regional thing. Maybe in Washington, those vampires, you know." She did not care for that.
Oh God, regional.
I've heard all these stories before, and I still love them.
Oh shit!
It's the delivery.
Yeah,
so, and that's what Matt has going on with that group. And there, it's the people together. So I love how he said, Brahma. Oh, I haven't said anything. No, and you've been doing that great all night, and that was that was great. Oh.
Wait, was that during Robo Vampire?
I think so.
Yes.
I'm editing that one now. Oh my God, it is insane, bro.
I'm sure it was.
So,
the movie was
Shags,
insane.
how you feeling, buddy?
I'm ready to close out the night. Like I said, my evening last night was eventful to say the least. So I need to get some rest tonight. I'm back to work tomorrow. But once I saw the addendum come out to everything, I thought we just have to do a stream. It's been too many days, and I assume Friday will probably be fruitful as well, as far as information. So we'll see how it goes. We'll play it by ear, but of course, you guys are always welcome on these discussions. I love having you guys on. I respect all of your opinions, even you, Matt. Even though we just met,
I appreciate that.
You're hanging out with these guys. You must be all right. Yeah, let's go around the horn real quick. You can let us know what you're doing. Start with you, Brahma. What you got going on this week?
We got Thursday night throwdown with Comics Division, and then Friday night, as No Green Rock said, I'm gonna have them over to the studio garage, and we're going to live stream all together in one place, and maybe have some guests come by and celebrate No Green Rock's birthday. So should be a fun evening. We'll do that right after Friday Night Tights, and then if news drops, maybe we'll pop into yours if you're doing one of these, depending on how much we've had to drink and how late it gets. So
another thing I'm excluded from.
I'm not.
You can come as a guest to the birthday party.
Of course you can. Yeah.
Well, where is it? In your garage?
Yeah, but we'll bring.
It's
some
too
people
cold
on
this time of
stream
year.
Wise. Yes, it is very cold. It's 28 degrees at the moment. So
good Lord, bro.
Shit. Jason, what do you got going on, man?
I talked to Chad Coleman today from The Walking Dead and the Orville. So that's up on our channel now. Tomorrow we've got Culture Casino. If I can shake him loose, we're going to talk money and investments. We'll probably look at the AMC network stuff. The Disney, the news coming out of Disney with Christine McCarthy possibly being the next CEO. And then we got an open line Friday on Friday. So all of that's the latest. So
wow,
coming up.
I'm gonna start following you on Twitter. You seem important. Did
only my mother thinks so.
Did
show
you
him
get
the
to
other
talk to
camera angles?
Oh yeah, I can. Okay.
Did you get to talk to him about The Wire? Holy sh!
We talked a little bit about The Wire. He's currently working on a possible prequel-ish type of project for that. In addition,
I don't trust.
Mainly, we were talking about he's got a Christmas movie that's coming out on the 11th, and so he's got that, and then his podcast, his Humble Hollywood podcast, is getting a remaster. So he's gonna start doing that again here in a while. But yeah,
nice.
Yeah, well, we do an hour, and today we got to talk to him, and it was a good conversation. So,
can somebody drop his link to his channel in the chat?
Oh, to Jason's channel? No, he's got it.
Is that Get Off My Lawn?
Mad?
Yeah, it's Get Off My Lawn. It's Jason.
No,
that's me. Yep.
Oh, nice one, man. I like that.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, no celebrities on mine. I did a video where I replaced Chris Pratt's lines in the Mario trailer with my own.
Saw that.
That was great.
Just released movies with Mad. What was New York Ninja? Oh my goodness! And I'm working on a new one. What? Oh man, that movie last night. She is never allowed to pick movies again.
Nope.
Anyway, yeah, that's it for me. One quick thing. I don't know if it was a commercial or something. Some dude's like, he's like, my favorite hotel knows I like my room at 82 degrees. It bothered me so much. I'm like, 82 degrees? Who are you? I keep my shit at 55 at night.
Damn, that was cold.
Man, 82? It just bothered me so much hearing that. I had to bring it up again.
Tox, what's Comics got going on?
Yeah, because I don't have anything going on.
What temperature do you keep your house at?
69. Yep. We take care of the other 2 degrees. That's what I keep telling them. All right. So tomorrow night we've got Chrissy Mayer and X-Ray Girl and Tugs going to be on 8 p.m. Central Standard Time on Comics Division's channel. And then next week we got XRL7 on Mike Evans. He's got the one latest episode that dropped there, so give him a check. You'll find that there's probably Nick Weiser. You'll be able to tell exactly who he is in that pixelated animated series. But Corey Harrison did some voices there too, and so did Comics. So that's what's coming up from there.
Nice. And for myself, thank you guys. Thank you for the panel for joining me tonight. Thank you, chat, for coming along for the ride as well, and all your commentary as well. Let's see. This week, tomorrow's the midweek hump with my co-hosts, No Green Rocks, Horror Emerata, and Sheepsidian, where we have Starsan on with us tomorrow. Good friend. And so that always a great time on Wednesdays. That starts at 9 p.m. Mountain Time. And then the rest of this week, I'll just be doing my own show, The Daily Shag, starting at 9 p.m. Mountain Time as well. And then if hopefully some more Twitter files drop and we can have some more to talk about, because I am very interested in where all this is going, and I'm interested to see what information is contained within. But that'll do it. Thank you guys. Thank you again, everyone. We will see you tomorrow night right here on this channel, 9 p.m. time, and we'll and that's it. I can't talk. I suck.
Same bad.
Night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night, everybody.